Well, good evening, everyone. Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. It is June 17th. We're almost halfway. We're way past halfway of this year. And you're at DJ's Classic Garage, the Wednesday Night Live, number 56. We're at 56 now. This is craziness now. And I'm joined here with Fluno, and I am Dennis. And we have a fun little, a potpourri of stuff. We are going to talk about parts because I'm dealing with that 61 300G, and unobtainium is a real word, and it is truly a painful word. And then we're going to go through some stuff. I have some some Rock Auto stuff and a few other places. I even have Advanced Auto Parts because holy shit. When you see in there, when you see what's not available at Advanced Auto Parts, you place you run down the street to, it is mind numbing. So, but we're going to also touch on First Brands. That's what we're going to go over first tonight because it's some big stuff. And I'll have some videos of that Chrysler 300 soon because that is, as my daughter has now called it, the devil car. It needs an exorcism because it does things that I've never seen. So I'm gonna go work on it tomorrow. I can't wait. Actually, I can, but there's that. So all right, So that's my update and my little opening, and we're gonna kind of have to we're gonna press through summer. Hey, two days of Larry. 2 days of Larry's here. Yep. So I guess we'll just start right off. Also, I have a little surprise when we talk about the Charger later. So, because I'm not going to give up on that. Because, damn. All right, so let's start with this. Kind of start because this is interesting. Remember a couple of weeks ago, actually a month ago. Hey, Autobot, how you doing? Premium Guard bought for pennies on the dollar a bunch of stuff from First Brands. They bought Anco, Trico, and I think Autolite. And they also got their manufacturing, R&D, distribution, and workforce. So they actually now have, it's all blah, 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 blah. The transaction includes advanced production lines for oil, air, and cabin air filters in Albon, Illinois. And key manufacturing equipment from Legacy Fram facility in Greenville, Ohio. The Greenville assets were consolidated at the Albon facility, creating one of the industry's most advanced filtration manufacturing operations in North America. That is actually kind of funny that it's Fram with the most advanced filtration in North America. Fram. Oh, wow. I see Sue M. Hi, Sue M. And Vintage Green. Cool. Nice to see. And Barbara DeRush. And oh, my God, Horatius is here. Yay. All right. So as part of the transition, PGI also acquired state-of-the-art R&D center and laboratory dedicated to filtration technologies and water separation systems for all you diesel guys out there. The facility will serve as a center of excellence for product engineering, material science, testing, validation, and advanced filtration technology. Mike, this is some really high-end stuff here, huh? Total high-end stuff. They're going to reinstate 300 jobs as part of the integration and restart of operations, with additional employment opportunities expected to be created in the later phases of the business continues to scale. These positions include key management and technical talent across engineering, manufacturing, product management, product and operations. This is an important investment for PGI, not only expanding its manufacturing platform, but also experienced workforce and technical expertise needed to support long-term domestic production, innovation, and sustained growth. Yeah, the acquisition also includes inventory assets in the United States and Mexico. That's awesome because that would mean that your Fram and Autolite stuff and your wipers may be available soon. Yay. And also PGI has entered into a lease agreement for 730,000 square feet distribution center in Hebron, Kentucky. I'm going to be near there in September. Then acquiring the machinery and equipment located in a facility for FBG. The facility will become PGI's 5th distribution center in North America and significantly expand the company's logistics footprint. So they're going to get Autolite. They already have Autolite, Trico, and Fram. So that's the big things to get. They're getting so they're going to mix it with the lubrifiers, heavy duty industrial filtration. So I mean, there's some hope for these brands. Maybe they'll be better brands like they used to be, but it's all American made. Like I've been saying all along, these are American jobs, truly American jobs. And so there's just a lot of blah 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 here. Blah blah blah. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's all just blah blah blah. So there we are. So there's a little bit of good news for some of what's left of First Brands. Small amount of good news, right? Tiny, small, yeah. But honestly, it's not a lot because Cardone is still doesn't have anything done with it, and neither is Ray Bestis. Neither one of those companies are operating, nor is there any talk of them being sold. And when we go through later, you'll see how bad it is that not having Ray Bestis around. It's and Cardone, God help you trying to find a replacement part for a 20-year-old car now. Good luck, man, because all you have is Dorman, and Dorman, people mock Cardone. Dorman is not a very good product. Dorman's good for nuts and bolts. I wouldn't trust anything rebuilt by Dorman. That's just me, though. So now there's some more news because it gets, of course, First Brands can't be a simple problem. It has to be extremely screwed up. You're going to love this one, Fluno. You're going to love it, man. Feds take over First Brands pension as the examiner comes under fire.
Oh, that's going to work great.
This is like
I mean, I'm not being funny. This is probably I'm going to say worse. I'm not being comical. Feds that's the last thing we want to hear.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because that means it's a hot, steamy mess. Because that's last resort. I mean, seriously, that's literally when people are at the end of the road. Yeah, there we go. Yes, Barbara, he's outside, and obviously his whole neighborhood is abuzz.
That's why I'm actually on mute until I say something. So, yes, you get the weather report. At least it's not storming. That was last night. But if it gets worse, we will transfer. But you get to have a little ambiance of the katydids and the crickets.
So with this, all right. So here's the bullet points first. Federal government is taking over some of First Brands pension plans, so the retirees can keep getting paid. I guess they made an obligation to them, and a lot of those pension plans were started way before it was bought by First Brands. So they're legacy things. So I'd be kind of pissed, especially that's such a rare thing right now. Neither debtors nor creditors want to give more money to the examiner, and there's a new Chapter 11 plan and disclosure statement on file at First Brands pushes toward a vote, and Judge Christopher Lopez rules on collateral questions between Bank of America and factoring financer Aquium. And so a factoring financer is hard money lender. They literally, like, say you borrow $1,000 from them, they want you to pay back $1,100 in like 6 weeks. I mean, the mafia,
like a big Scott in a way.
Right, yeah, the mafia blushes at their interest rates. I mean, these guys, and they're hardcore, but this company seemed to screw them royally. And the other thing we just went over. So the U.S. government is stepping up to pay the pensions of First Brands employees. It's like the first thing the government has actually done. I mean, we're like, 8 months into this, 10 months into this, and the government's going, hey, maybe we should help something with this. Well, possibly. That'd be a great idea, guys. This actually ensures workers and retirees that benefits they earn will be there when they need them. Okay, said the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation. Didn't know that existed. Director Janet Dillon, in a statement released this week, by stepping in and safeguarding these plans, PBGC is ensuring that the pension promise are kept and the participants are remaining confident in their full benefits are secure. So this is from the Act from 1974, when people would define pension plans, which don't exist anymore. The three plans cover 1,630 current and future retirees. The retirement plan is for bargaining unit employees of Astoria and Greenville Fram. The pension plan for Cardone Industries, which isn't even operating. Those are the union ones. And the pension plan for Dalton Corporation, Wasser Manufacturing Facility Pension Plan. Retirees will continue receiving their full benefits without interruption. Participants who are not yet retired may apply for benefits once they become eligible. First Brands is also seeking the nomination of a retirees committee pursuant to the final approval of its plan. If allowed, the U.S. trustee will nominate retirees from certain groups to represent the company's retirees as the plan winds its way to completion. Nick Hawley is a member of the team managing the wind down the First Brands group, said the expeditious appointment of the committee is vital. Wow. Yeah, the taxpayers. That's the vintage taxpayers. You and I are paying for this. Let's see. The debtors do not have and have not received funding commitments for the liquidity that necessary to confirm the plan after the end of July. Good Lord. As a result, any delay in appointment of a retiree committee could jeopardize the debtor's ability to confirm the plan and the time they required to a confirmation budget that would likely force debtors to convert to Chapter 11 cases to cases under Chapter 7, which is horrifically bad. First Brands creditors object to more money for examiner. This examiner, I feel bad for this guy. He's literally dealing with a giant pile of poop. And I mean, it costs money to do that type of investigation. But I guess everybody's a little pissed right now because they've lost, millions, billions, so they're a little upset. Both First Brands and an ad hoc group of creditors have objected to the examiner's request for more money in the bankruptcy case. The examiner, Martin DeLuca, was appointed in December to investigate First Brands' factoring processes and transactions and off-balance sheet financing. Christ. His budget was $7 million. $7 million. And he pissed all through it already. DeLuca asked for the increase in May, shortly after the filing of a report that alleged First Brands was operating in practice as a single liquidity-generating and value-extracting enterprise directed by Patrick James and others. I'll put that in English. Basically, they were just stealing. that they would borrow money and steal it. That's all that means. Significant value generated within the enterprise did not remain there. In his motion asking for a decrease, DeLuca said the U.S. trustee initially asked for a budget of $10 million, but that was negotiated down to $7 million. DeLuca exceeded in his work already reported to the court. His office is making headway in the investigation, DeLuca said, but he was forced to scale back its work due to the budget limitations, which is also dwindling just after a month of work. At the same time, the examiner said First Brands itself was running out of funding. The ad hoc lender group refused to include the examiner's office in any collateral carve-out to protect its funding, and the likelihood of administrative insolvency loomed. The volume and complexity of information gathered to date and discovered additional areas of inquiry that were not fully anticipated at the onset of the examination led to the examiner to conclude the comprehensive investigation would require substantially more time and resources than allocated under the examination budget. The exigencies of the investigation created a difficult choice for the examiner: either stop work and not complete the report contemplated by the court-approved work plan, or continue his investigation and complete the initial report, knowing the examiner's professional fees and expenses would likely exceed the examination budget before any assurance of that fee and expenses exceeding the examination budget. He's worried that he won't get paid. So now nobody wants to lay out any money. They don't want to lay out $3 million more to find out what happened, where all the money is, how it was used. This is a cluster at this point. I mean, this is actually the worst part of the whole thing, that nobody wants to pay to find out what else is happening. I know that there's an investigation into the James brothers of federal charges, but obviously they're not looking into this, which is kind of bizarre. So a lot of the creditors probably know that the money was basically stolen. I can't imagine you wouldn't know, and I'm guessing that it doesn't matter at this point. So that's not good. We'll see what happened here. Oh, Barbara DeRush. This happened at a hospital that closed around me when the people tried to cash in for their pension. It was gone because they used it for other stuff. Well, yeah, it's always the fun.
Dennis,
well,
what is the? Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
What is this? What is your source on this? I know last week we had that off magazine. What is this source today?
It's the same one. It's
same
literally
one.
the same one.
Amazing. Of all the reporting out there, you're getting it from a minor
truck parts and services. That's who's reporting on this now. Truck parts and services. Not CNN. This isn't Fox News. This is truck parts and services. CSUM. He's worried that he won't get paid, but it sounds like he's the only one that's gotten paid. No, other people got paid. But the thing is, he's doing a job that's going to help people recover their money, because if they can do the paper trail back to the James brothers, they actually already allocated last week on the 12th that they can sue the James brothers for any of the money, because James brothers have billions. They have stolen billions, and they bought houses and stuff. So the thing is, I think that a lot of the creditors don't want him digging any deeper, because I have a feeling they may be implicated, because it sounds that way. It's starting to smell really bad, because when you have creditors that are kind of like, we're good, that there's something wrong. That always smacks me as something being really wrong, when they're kind of hesitant about having a deeper investigation, especially with this much money. It doesn't seem right. So I think they're trying to cover their tracks. Here we go. We got another little fun. Bank of America versus Aquium, which is a hard money lender. In an adversary suit that pits two First Brands lenders against each other, U.S. bankruptcy judge Christopher Lopez, who I do not envy this bastard. I don't envy this guy at all. This is miserable. This is miserable. Ruled on Wednesday that Aquium could still sell inventory in its possession, but cannot use the $18 million in proceeds to pay its own bills. Wow. So they can sell the stuff, but they can't use the money. Instead, it must be maintained the status quo until the court can decide proper ownership of the collateral housed in the Cardone warehouse in Arlington, Texas. Jesus wept. Aquium argued that this would put a default of its own loans, and Bank of America argued $18 million could become unrecoverable should Aquium continue to do business with it. So it sounds like Bank of America got hammered hard too, because they're fighting over $18 million. And they got billions in TARP, and now they're worried about 18 million. So they've gotten hammered hard. Lopez stressed provisions of the contracts must be meaningful and have work to do, and they would read each provision as fact. There's a bigger issue, he said, and that's about whether the borrower in this agreement actually owned the assets, because the hard money lender, when they're doing inventory, if you default, they own the inventory. But the problem is they also borrowed money against an inventory from Bank of America. So, yeah. And once again, who owns it? And it's not good. It's equally clear, he said, the funds Aquium extended were used in ways the loan document did not contemplate. Oh, Jesus. Broad Street, the company that allegedly owned the collateral on which Aquium based its loans, was represented to have rights to the collateral. Also, Aquium thought the money was going to pay First Brands for the collateral when it instead went to Bowery Finance, a company owned by former CEO Patrick James and not part of First Brands. He funneled money out of the company to another company he owned.
The fact that Bank of America is involved, now that you bring this up, really should have more newsworthiness. Think about it. That's a big hit. 18 million compared to billions in TARP, like you said, it doesn't matter. Bank of America, this should be making bigger news headlines just based on their clout.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. This and Jeffries is involved, and Jeffries is another major bond. They're a bond provider, and also they're a banking unit and on corporate level, and they're all in the middle of this. They have a lot of losses, but we don't know how much. And so this is so yes, this gets uglier and uglier because now we have basically no direction for the investigation internally for the debtors to find out who owns what, which of course is not great. But then now you have debtors fighting amongst themselves in front of this poor judge because they're trying to lay claim to what is. And so basically a lot of this stuff though could be solved if they let the guy finish his investigation, because then he'd be able to actually maybe piece together something, because we're at the point now where this is becoming just horrifically bad. And I don't see I keep on saying it, but my God, there's not a great ending for this. Not a great ending at all, because this is ugly. And I think they're going to have another hearing in July. So I think like the second week of July. And the James brothers don't go on trial until end of July, August. So, and we'll see how that shakes out. We'll see how the federal government handles this one, because this is not great. And it's really, this has gotten to the point of just it's actually kind of sad. But the thing is, as you saw there, Cardone's inventory is at question. You can't sell it. They can't sell the inventory. So that's why a lot of stuff isn't available, because it's sitting in warehouses. I have a feeling that rSupers is the same way. Though I haven't seen any stories about it, I'm kind of guessing now, because rSupers had tons of inventory, because that's why you can order a rotor for a 1970 Charger and they'd have it, because they have just inventory. They don't go bad. They're cast iron. You put them on the shelf, let them set. And I am kind of concerned about this. And there's one more. Now, it's just kind of tying, and this is going to blow your mind. That would, because it actually deals with Ford and Stellantis and General Motors and First Brands. I mean, honest to God, I really wish I wish I was kidding, but we had talked about this before. But here it is. And this is just now from Ford Authority, and this is a new. It's from today. It's from this morning. If they do a liquidation, Ford and GM both get a lot of parts from First Brand still, because they are an OEM manufacturer. And so if they end up pushing that liquidation plan, which is basically a fire sale, which that would be bad. That's what's going to be decided in July. They were hoping they could just sue the James brothers and be able to do an orderly Chapter 11, or maybe an orderly 7, where they can actually sell off units. But they're also talking fire sale. And so the liquidation would, the recoup money, which can be pennies on a dollar. So Ford did what it could to help First Brands. Of course, too little, too late. I told him about Toledo Molding and Dye, which makes interior trim, HVAC, fluid reservoirs, and other plastic trim. They actually ended up finding a place to buy that so it could stay in business. Walbro, which makes their fuel pumps, that got sold. So that's actually still in thing. But there's still other stuff. Until Anco and Trico start actually ramping up, they're going to have a problem with wiper blades. Autolite is still a manufacturer of spark plugs. They still have a tight tie with Ford. Still do have a tight tie with Ford. So so Ford is basically Ford and General Motors are still kind of on the hook with this, and yet nobody's talking about this. And this is another one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't even get it anymore. I really don't. I don't get this anymore. I don't understand why no one else is talking about this. Why there's no one talking about this anymore. Sue M. Are the suits all criminal or some civil? Yes. No. Everything I'm talking about here is all civil, and this is all going to be civil around the bankruptcy. The criminal suits are being pursued by the Department of Justice. They have them on friggin' racketeering. You name the crime, they committed it, and they defrauding a wire. I mean, they broke wire. What do you call that? Federal wire rules, because the way they wired money, it was illegal. I mean, they broke a lot of federal laws doing this scam, and but the civil cases are coming soon, because that's what they decided last Friday on the 12th, that they can do that. And actually, the judge was smart and said, yes, that would be a wise thing to do. So those civil RICO Act. They literally, I mean, they have done everything you can do illegally. They were fraudulent on financial statements. I mean, to banks, no, and no, to investors, like private investors. You can't do that type of stuff. I mean, it was a privately held company, but you still can't. It's crazy. Vintage, yes, it's crazy. The First Branch company has been no. It's like nobody wants to report about this. Same thing with the fires at junkyards, and just how parts just start not becoming available just because a lot of it doesn't make sense. I may have to do a full-on conspiracy video, because this is the coincidences with this are freaking ridiculous at this point. That the media is not covering this. I can't grasp. I can't grasp this at all at this point. Yes, I know the news doesn't cover a whole lot of things, but this is something that I don't care who you are. This affects you, man. This affects you. I don't care what you drive. This is going to affect you, because these companies make parts for almost everything. Especially even electric appliances have brakes, and they need brake parts. And they wipers, and they do wipers. Yes, they are a captive entity. Correct. All right, so let's move on to something even more just basically facepalm. It's my favorite subject. And yes, we're going to talk about Stellantis, because this is another company that just skirts by with nobody questioning anything. It's absolutely hilarious. So remember how they did a deal with Land Rover and Jaguar, because they're incredible companies. So now their great brand Maserati, they're going to look for partnerships. Like, wait a minute, this is a company that has how many divisions, and you're looking for outside partners? I'm confused on this. I don't understand what's going on here. And their support for old cars has gotten pretty bad. Actually, next week we may just go over the Direct Connection catalog, so we can just see how little they actually do stuff for old cars. So Stellantis is in talks with potential partners for 2 more manufacturing deals in Italy. First, for its struggling luxury brand Maserati, the automaker CEO said on Wednesday during parliamentary hearing in Rome. So basically, the Italian government's getting a little pissy with this guy. They're getting slightly pissy with this guy because, this is not good. This is not good. Filosa took the top job at a French-Italian group a year ago, and he was in negotiations on behalf of Maserati with two important partners that could bring us technology and develop the development and excellent ideas. We're choosing which one to continue with in the future. So he's just BSing. Filosa last month unveiled Stellantis' $60 billion business plan in 2030 with 60 new models globally, which most of them are just rebadges, and new partnerships including production tie-ups with Chinese groups, Leapmotor and Dongfeng. Those don't always go well. Maserati is due to be present due to present its own strategy in December. So we have to wait till December to see what's going to happen with Maserati. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, another warehouse fire. Imagine that. Medical supplies. Interesting. A new deal for Maserati will have a positive impact on production rates at the Casino and Modena plants in Italy where the brand models are manufactured, Filosa said. He also denied recurring speculation to sell Maserati, which recently included that of the interest of BYD and of the Casino facility, one of the group's least utilized sites in Europe. Jesus. Maserati is not for sale for sure. Casino is not for sale for sure. What can happen in Casino? Casino. It will happen in other plants is to have partnerships and cooperation development. E-car partnerships. So they're going to basically go back to the tried and true thing that fails. I love this. If it fails twice, keep doing it because someday it will work. As a part of long-term strategy, Stellantis announced plans to build e-cars. Jesus, what? Small, affordable, fully electric vehicles costing around 15,000 euros in Italy's Pomigliano plant near Naples. Clearly, e-cars is something we'll do with a partner and finalizing the deal. I smell Chinese there. Stellantis will have 51% stake. Let's see. CEO said Stellantis aimed at producing at least 2 e-car models in Pomigliano, but he hoped for 3. Filling capacity. Manufacturing agreements will help Stellantis achieve its challenging target to improve the capacity utilization in Europe to over 80% by 2030. We will achieve it, particularly through an increase in volumes thanks to our new model launches and improved quality. The reconversion of some plants and industrial partnerships will allow us to share production capacity and know-how. Stellantis, whose other brands include Fiat, Peugeot, Jeep, last month said its capacity utilization in Europe was at 60%. Holy shit. Europe, Stellantis' largest market along in North America, will get around 40% of the plant's overall investments. So basically, this company is a mess because I don't see General Motors running out and getting partnerships to get like a Buick built. I mean, they're building. They have their own. They have their own technology center. Ford isn't running out and going and getting another company to go build, an SUV. They do it in house. I don't understand this. I'm confused on what Stellantis is actually doing here, because everything that they do is like, it's almost like they don't want to commit to it, and they just get a partner that can suck up the cost. It doesn't make any sense at this point. It really doesn't. We showed the rebadge stuff they're going to make Chryslers in a couple of years, and that's going to be quite painful, actually. I mean, this guy is screwed, man. Oh my God, it's Barry Kuda. He's back. Cool. Hey, how you doing? How's tomorrow? Is tomorrow better than today? Because today was not so great. Let's see. Now we'll go to this one. Okay. One last thing on Stellantis, because I keep on saying they like doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Stellantis has to buy its white flags from France. No, they can make their own because they're a French-Italian company. So here we go, Fluno. More great ideas from Stellantis because they have so many of them. Ram targets a $60,000 price point for a 2027 Ram 1500 Rumblebee 5.7. $60,000 for a basic V8 truck. $60,000. And it can't be used as a work truck. Completely useless as a work truck. 60 grand.
We were talking before the show that the market for this is just not there.
No.
I mean, and I know it's a broken record at this point, but really, who's going to come out? Who's going to pay the insurance, especially in Florida? And again, we talked about earlier, like I said, if you're going to spend 60 grand and you can afford something like that, there's other choices out there versus a Dodge truck.
With questionable quality.
Yeah,
very
yes.
questionable
Very
quality.
Questionable.
So the entry level truck is going to be a 5.7 and it's going to be 60 grand. That's the entry level one. This company has a problem. They have a price problem. And I don't understand it. I guess that deal they made with the union was that bad, but they have a very bad price problem because the Charger is $15,000 too expensive. That literally is what kills that car. It's 15 grand too expensive. This thing is $20,000 too expensive. I mean, you know, enthusiasts who've been watching performance vehicles become increasingly expensive over the past 2 decades. That statement may be the biggest news surrounding the Rumblebee program. You're kidding me? You're saying that $60,000 is affordable? In whose mind? That's $1,000 a month payment. In whose mind is that I mean, seriously, I don't even understand this. I don't even grasp. I don't grasp this. So they're the one trick pony that doesn't understand who the market is. And why is this dancing on me? This is making me dizzy. Everyone's going to get excited about this truck. No. The truck is very expensive. Yes. As all SRTs are expensive. Yes. But when you can get the same proportions and base platform that you're going to be able to build off of, we're going to announce in the future without direct connection parts, the price point, right? We're going to sell a lot of. Yeah, no, you're not. This is not going to sell. It truly isn't. This is insane. It looks like a normal Hemi, at least. It doesn't have the electric motor on it, thank God. But still, it has the antique Hemi under the hood. 5.7 liter, 395 horsepower. Blah blah blah. It doesn't. It's just a straightforward V8. Aluminum cylinder heads, variable valve timing, active intake manifold. It has cylinder deactivation, which is horrible. And Ram eliminated both the e-torque and start technology for the Rumblebee application. All right. Why is this dancing? Stop it. Ram didn't simply install a Hemi and call it a day. Let's see. Different drivetrain. It comes with a Borg-Warner 4811 transfer case, front axle disconnect, true wheel drive mode, 392 axle, and it can have a limited slip. Actually, it should be a sure grip because it's a Chrysler product. Wide body, looks like a 6-figure price. So a 6-figure truck. They'll sell hundreds of those. I don't even understand that. 20-cent motors. I buy $500 cars. Yeah, that's the way to go, man. Yes, it's Horatius. It's more than an average American salary for a year. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, wow. This is insane. This is crazy insane. They have no other tricks in their bag. I mean, they really Kuniskis obviously looks like the worst person to have at Stellantis right now because he knows nothing else. He knows nothing. He doesn't know how to build. He doesn't know how to build just a regular base work truck like General Motors has. General Motors has what the WT, right? On the GMC WT. Base, everything, rubber floor mats, whatever. It is a base truck. They sell lots of those trucks.
And it's
Ford.
still expensive nowadays for a base truck.
But still, $40,000 is better than $60,000.
Well, here's something that's apples to oranges in many ways, but I just watched a video on the new ES Lexus, which is kind of actually very attractive and funky looking for a Lexus. And again, not the same thing at all, but you can get the quote base model, we'll call it that, at around $47,000. So 13 grand less, you're getting a Lexus luxury Toyota with proven reliability. And like I said, I know it's not a direct comparison, but if you need a truck, you're going to buy a truck that's made for truck purposes, not this.
So this, let me just hammer home how this is not a truck. It can't even tow 9,000 pounds. What's the point? It's not a truck. It can't tow 10,000 pounds. I don't want it. It's useless. I'd be scared to tow a car with this. With only a $9,000 capacity, you're at 7,000 towing any old muscle car. You're at 7,000. You're not leaving a lot of room there, man. This is embarrassing, and it has 22-inch wheels, which are incredibly expensive. You want to spend money? Buy 22-inch tires. Payload 1,100 pounds. 1,100-pound payload. This is embarrassing. I mean, why? Why does this even matter? Who's this for? What market? This page is driving me insane. I mean, who's this for? I mean, it's not for anybody. It really doesn't. They're going to be at Mo Party. And I can't wait to look at these things. This is embarrassing. I mean, I got to get off this page. Drive me crazy. But honestly, Fluto, I mean, we have a vehicle here that doesn't even meet its own minimum requirements of what people that look for that type of vehicle want.
I think they're hedging on. I'm not trying to judge, but I think they're hedging on, pardon the term, maybe, but trust fund kids or someone with so much disposable income that wants this Ram. And I'm just blowing smoke at this point, really not making sense, but there's really no rational thought behind it. And it's the only thing I can think about is that it's for someone who thinks it's so amazing with the Rumblebee stuff, and they think it's classic or it's muscle car-y, and they just want to not use a truck for a truck, which so many people we know, but I mean that out there don't actually truck with their truck.
True, but I mean, the thing is that this truck is going to be an insurance nightmare because it's a high performance truck. So the thing is, you can get an F-150 with a Coyote, just a regular XLT with a Coyote in it, and it will be just as fast as that truck. But you're not going to pay the insurance you're paying on that truck because it's just, you go to your insurance company, it's an XLT. It's just an F-150. I mean, this thing as immediately, it's a Rumblebee. Oh, there's $2,000 on top of your. It's ridiculous. 20-cent motor always. The corporate mentality is probably to sell just enough to keep the brand alive for many years. I don't know. When I show you Dodge, what they're doing at Dodge, that brand ain't gonna be around much longer. I'm already seeing the writings on the wall. It's done because all they're talking about is SRT stuff. That ain't gonna keep Dodge alive. Selling 1,000 cars a month is not gonna keep a brand alive. I mean, this is embarrassing. Yeah, don't try to hold stones in it. No, I mean, I had to get pavers from my backyard, and I'm a cheap Sicilian. I went and got them myself. I wasn't gonna have somebody deliver the damn things. I put them in the back of my truck. I mean, my truck has like 1,800-pound payload, and I put like 1,500 pounds back in there. I mean, you couldn't put like anything back there. The truck would just be sagging on the ground. I mean, it's not even made for anything. I mean, it's embarrassing, actually. I mean, this is bad. Yeah, a muscle car and a truck bed, those have never sold well. They have never the Ford Lightning, the real Lightning, that didn't sell that well. I mean,
The Rouse trucks, the Shelby trucks, same exact thing.
They sell what, maybe 10,000 a year, maybe, if that. I mean, I remember the Lightning. Everybody talked about the Lightning when it came out in the 90s, and honestly, I don't think they sold more than 10 to 15,000 of them. It was not a huge seller, and it wasn't that much more expensive, but nobody wanted it because it wasn't a
No, and I
truck.
remember people pulling up at the lot. This is hard to believe, 20 years ago. Everyone was enamored, and of course, the driver would pull up acting like everyone's going to stop and stare or whatever. And I guess they were cool, but again, the old saying is there's a reason why there's rare classic cars too, is because, it's so rare because nobody wanted it back then either.
Correct.
People don't realize that. There's a rarity on some ways, didn't sell. We don't make them anymore, so.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. So, that's just like Hellcats. They only sold 5,000 of them a year. I mean, nobody could afford the thing. So now they're going to make their entire lineup like Hellcats, and like you're not going to keep brands alive with low production. You're not Lamborghini. You're not Porsche. You're regular people cars, and especially Dodge. I mean, I don't know how that brand's, because Durango could easily become a Ram without even a just like that. The only way to keep Dodge around is that Ram has to go away and become a Dodge Ram again. But they're never going to do that. That's the only way that Dodge doesn't go away. We're really at that point where Dodge is pretty much done. We're 2030 by 2030 it should be gone. This is mismanagement on a level I can never seen.
Well, think about this, Dennis. You just brought up Porsche as an example. I mean, if they still made just Porsches as we knew growing up, they'd be out of business. They had to go into, and it can be a love it or hate it or sacrilegious, whatever, but they make SUVs. They make a sedan. They had to, and even though they were a specialty sports car, they even had to tweak for their audience.
Correct.
For families. And yes, correct. I'm not going to get into the weeds on everything, but it's somewhat different, but it's similar where they knew they were going to be out to pasture as well without changing. Correct. This company, I mean, and we talked about this last week, where you ask any 21-year-old right now, hey, what's a Toyota Corolla? They're going to say, they'll tell you all about it probably, right? You ask a 21-year-old what and maybe it's a bad example, a Dodge Neon is. They're going to be like, nah, or whatever. Or is that crap? Or is that a PT Cruiser? The heritage is not even there.
It's dead, actually.
As good or bad as it was, everyone in our age bracket remembers the Neon. New folks don't, but everyone knows a Corolla. So they're really up the creek in many ways for loyalty and heritage, even on inexpensive models.
See, a 20-cent motor. What happened to the last year of the Chrysler Fortune revitalizing it in the USA? They basically rebuked him, and that was that. He took his ball and went home. I have a feeling, though, that he's just waiting, because I have a feeling in a year or two, he can probably buy them cheap. This company's not going to survive much longer. It can't. Obviously, look, they can't even do Italy well. He's having to apologize to the Italian parliament because they have literally screwed up production in Italy. They have literally screwed up every front they have. And, now they're selling themselves out to the Chinese, which is not a good idea. They're not good to do. They're not good to do business with. They really aren't. Oh, yeah. Let's see. 2023 Shelby truck going for $94,000 at a local dealer. Yeah, he can hold on to that. He can hold on to that. That's ridiculous. So we have our segment this week. Since we were talking about Stellantis, it is time to do our segment. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? So there it is. There is our
Such a great
segment
intro.
now.
I love the intro. I was like, "What? This is better than a commercial." And then it wrecks.
This is the segment. The segment for going over Charger sales. As you can tell, this is not good. It's not good at all. So we're gonna refresh your memory. This is last week. My handwriting there, 610.
We still get your great handwriting. We got new AI, but great handwriting as well. Love it.
So notice the total vehicles 12,266 available. So that's in transit and on lots. 11,860 on the lots themselves. So then we go and we look at this week, which would be 617. I did this earlier today. I was busy. I actually did a lot of work today. And here's 617. 12,066 available. There's actually less available total, which means they aren't making any. And 11,800. So we had a change of 60 total went down and 200 less total. So they didn't sell a lot of cars. That's not great. That's not great, Bob. I'm thinking they sold like 100, maybe 100 cars last week. Maybe
it's like 2 per state.
They made somewhere between 100 and 150 cars, which is pretty awful, actually. And considering they're putting $3,500 on the hood, minimum $3,500, and this includes the 300 electrics that are out there that are not selling. They're just literally just sitting on lots. So in 2 months, these become year-old cars because they're coming out for some reason or other. They're coming out with a 2027. That's unchanged, except they're going to add some packages. So yeah, there we are. The update on the new Charger, and it's a complete failure. I haven't seen one since that one I took a picture of in the parking lot, and it's pretty bad, actually. I mean, this is Dodge right now. This is where we are with Dodge. We are here. This is it. That's their only car. That is all, that in Durango. That is all they have. And so, yeah. Let's see. Well, it's more than just $5 a gallon. They actually, they're such high horsepower, you actually pay the insurance on a performance car, like real, because it's like almost the base one's over 400, and your insurance company is going to go, yeah. So here's $4,000 a year. What? And then the payment is $1,000 a month on that car. Yeah, exactly. Like Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. They all die in the end. Yep. It does suck. Not as bad. The end doesn't suck as bad as Vanishing Point. That end. At least they destroyed a Camaro for that. Yes, electrification is an absolute disaster, but they keep on going back to it. They literally can't help but keep going back to it, because if it failed 5-6 times, it's time to see if it'll fail again.
Heck, even Tesla, even those folks have almost maxed out, and that's like the electric car company with the huge fan base or whatever. Yeah. I'm not bagging on them. I mean, if they're maxing, that's showing a lot right there.
Yeah, I mean, they are literally the market for that. It's just like, in my eyes, electric appliances. The market is no different than sports cars. There's only a finite amount of people to buy them, and that's like everybody. If they wanted to run out, why didn't every manufacturer run out and make a Cayman copy? Cayman's a great car, but your market for that car is friggin' what they're selling. I mean, that's the market for that car. It isn't a giant market. Same thing with these appliances. It's not a practical vehicle for 95% of the people out there. It really is not. It's like somebody like me or somebody like Fluno, these vehicles are useless to us. Actually, Jack and Rod, Toyota held back. Honda went in and lost a lot of money. They had their first they had their first annual loss last year. They screwed up big time. I mean, seriously, big time. They basically had to trash all their EVs.
Strangely, Dennis, I've been seeing commercials for that. I'm not going to say the whole nomenclature, but that
Right.
Toyota BZ4 DL2 or whatever it's called. I'm actually seeing commercials now for it, like, up to 260 miles of range. It's almost like they've had it over here as a little sidebar and trying to get it out there, but they don't really care. It's like this, but they've not put all their chips.
No, and they won't
at all.
They won't. They're smart. Yeah, look at New Zealand. Oh my God, $13 a gallon. Good Christ. Oh my God. I mean, that's just psychotic. Well, you gotta remember, they're the ones that got hit hardest when the strait that was open got closed, that got opened again. They got hit the hardest because that's a lot of their fuel, like a majority of their gasoline comes from, that oil and gas comes from that area. Damn, that's gotta suck. That sucks. Yeah, we apologize, Americans.
We apologize. We're really sorry. Yeah.
We're sorry. We're very sorry. Oh, that's just terrible. Oh wait, the Fall Guy showed scenes from Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. Oh, I gotta go find that. Fall Guy is not on any of those stations on like
that's
Pluto.
A shame.
I love the Fall Guy.
Oh, the Fall Guy,
great show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't talked about that in years. Oh,
I love the Fall Guy. Great truck. They had great trucks in that too.
Yeah.
They had the Chevy trucks. They had the box, the squared. That's what they were running. Yeah. The sheep are weeping. But yeah, I gotta find that show. It's gotta be playing somewhere. Because a young Heather Locklear was in that, if I remember correctly. She looked really good in that show. She really did.
The theme song just started playing in my head.
Exactly.
And I can see him grabbing the branch because he's the unknown stuntman. And I forgot the ending of it. Yes, that was great.
Lee Majors,
very
man.
Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, Lee Majors. Yeah, that's right.
Lee Majors was an absolute stud back then. Absolute stud. So hey, Jamie Cotton's here. Cool. All right, so now we're gonna start on something a little more interesting because we have like a parts problem, but I'm seeing something here. Let's see. I don't think that the Model Y is actually the top selling car. I actually don't believe that at all. Actually. So it's $755 in our money. I forgot they use funny money down there. I forgot about that.
Still, that's insane. I mean, $755. Yeah. That's still.
It's like being in California.
Yeah.
It's on Prime. Oh wow, I have Prime. Yes, the better Heather. Absolutely. So here's something that's kind of fascinating, and that's not it. Hold on, I gotta add the stage. Remove you. Add the stage. There we go. So this is coming a long way at this point, and this is, I think, what's going to save us as car guys. This is 3D printing, and they've been using metal now for a while. Ford actually was building engines for years, like little, like just moving parts and all from 3D prints. So to see how all this stuff works in it, they actually were building those to actually mock them up out of 3D parts, and it was metal. But it was very, very expensive. It was like, $50,000 to do a 3D printer. Now I see that some have gotten down to 10, which doesn't sound that cheap, but you're making an actual part that is, it can't be aluminum because of the gases in it, but it can be made out of stainless. I mean, I wouldn't mind stainless. Stainless is used on a lot of things. So PCBWay's metal 3D printing service can create parts in aluminum, stainless, titanium, and tool steel with full processing support. So metal 3D printing has evolved far beyond basic rapid prototyping. Today, engineering teams are using technology to bypass traditional machining entirely, deploying selective laser melting, also known as metal laser powder bed fusion. This is like sci-fi stuff now. To manufacture parts that were once deemed impossible to produce with the traditional manufacturing like CNC. The limiting factor is no longer the technology itself, but finding a manufacturing partner capable of scaling complex internal geometries across diverse metals like titanium CC4 and tool steel. The tool steel thing is absolutely next level because you can make wrenches and stuff different shapes and not have to have a special machine to do it. You can just print it, and you can have a curved wrench. PCB Way's metal 3D printing service is a bridge. This gap is bridging this gap with a controlled atmosphere SLM process that turns dense metal powders into structurally sound, tight tolerance end user components. Here's how a currently material lineup stacks up on the real world operating loads, as well as several examples of engineering application each. So this is made out of aluminum. It's a 3D printed fan.
Look at that! How cool!
God. And aluminum, which the home ones you can't do because it's gas. In industrial scale, you can, but aluminum actually exudes a gas when you do this. Kind of toxic. It's the go-to material for engineering huge strength without weight penalty of steel. The alloy combines silicone and magnesium to deliver good hardness. Dynamic load resistance and thermal conductivity make it well-suited for thin-walled parts and complex geometries like that fan they made. That's crazy. At 1.5 grams centimeter cubed, I think I need Barracuda to translate that for me. I don't know what that means. It's in grams. I have no idea. Density with 300 MPa tensile strength. Wow, 245 MPa bending strength. That's strong. The strength to weight ratio is hard to argue with, especially in aerospace, automotive work, and with every gram has cost. Post-processing options include machining, polishing, and analyzing treatment. Look at this. Oh, I love this. Chrysler pioneering 3D printing during the LH development. Until then, they would design a part, then throw it over at the wall to the production engineers to figure out how to actually make it. Oh, wow. Damn. Then they have stainless. So they have, they can stainless, very strong. It also chemical process engineering might use it for custom valve body handling, aggressive media, food equipment. I mean, but on cars, I mean, a stainless intake manifold, stainless exhaust, because I mean the tube headers are stainless. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, valves, stainless valves, they're very expensive. Wow, that is crazy. And then titanium, which is extremely expensive. There's a lot of waste when it's made. But look, you can 3D print the part you just need. And then tool steel. So that's an impeller for a water pump. That's literally what that is. Look at that. You could just print it. You don't even have to. You just print it. Grams and stones. Yeah. Yeah. Grams and stones. So, yeah, tool steel is extremely strong. It's heavy, though. Interesting considering internal geometry, mold insert with conforming cooling channels, shape the following contours. Same logic applies brazing fixtures, the whole complex assemblies. What you can actually build. So on the prototype side, you can test under actual operating loads rather than approximations. Low volume production, aerospace, automotive, medical hardware. You can actually make this type of stuff. You can make conformal cold mold inserts for tool steel, lightweight structural brackets, and titanium, aluminum for motorsports, manifolds, valves. I mean, so this place does this. This is an article on this company, but this is what's out there. And I saw a video of another guy. Oh, it's a turbine. Yeah, that's a water pump. A water pump is a turbine. I saw a video on a guy that had stuff he made out of plastic, and he sent it to this place, of course, in China, and he had like a water neck created for his it was it Toyota? It might have been like a Supra, and he had a water neck created because he couldn't get the part out of aluminum, and they actually stainless. They printed it out of stainless, and it fit freaking perfect because they took his part and they did the whole scanning of it, and he had They just made it for him, and it was like $300. But honestly, after dealing with what I'm dealing with on this Chrysler 300 with unobtainium, that tool steel. You know what else that tool steel can be good for? Brakes. I know usually they make brakes out of cast iron, but that's pretty heavy steel, and I can't see why you couldn't do cast iron. You 3D print a brake drum, because honestly, there's a lot of brake drums that aren't made. I mean, this is pretty impressive stuff.
They don't make them for early 60s Lincolns anymore, that's for sure. Dan,
absolutely not.
Unobtained. I mean, truly extinct, like the dodo.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. The brakes on the 300, they're remanufactured. The drums, they're not new. There's no such thing as a new one. Let's see, turbo vane. Okay, turbine wheel. Oh, maybe I was wrong, but still, all right. So that actually is a turbo part that usually burns up, and you could just print one, put it in there, or change it to give you different pressure. That's actually kind of neat. I remember 20-cent mode. I remember a feature article on Chrysler, and you're responsible for the cloud cars. They made note how under chassis was painstakingly engineered out. Wow, that's amazing. But this is really going to be something that I have a feeling is going to it has to happen, because at this point we can't rely on the manufacturers to make anything for us anymore, because they just don't. Especially if you have a Chrysler or an AMC or one of those vehicles that's an orphan. You're not going to get anything for those cars. And with this, at least, plastic right now is easily done. It looks good. You can make it exactly what you need. But, metal, when that comes in, I mean, you could 3D print yourself a new intake manifold. Because, like, I want an LD 340 for my car. They're like $500 for a used intake manifold. Exactly. Yes.
I mean, think about that. Is that, just my brain wandered. I just watched a video on this car. Like, you need the turbo stuff for, hypothetically, a Monza Corvair. I mean, again, where are we going to find this at? You can print this up. You literally could make the parts and correct, rebuild, do what you got to do for various things on your Corvair engine. Just like that.
That doesn't exist. I mean, literally, it just doesn't exist.
No,
but
it doesn't exist.
If you can 3D print the turbo vane, you can 3D print the turbo housing. If it can, obviously, if it's at a 2 steel, it can handle that level of heat. I mean, obviously, it can handle it. And
heck, it could be better than the original. We don't know. I mean,
yeah. 60s technology.
Yeah, you're right though. But think about that. It's neat to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is actually one of those Brave New World things that there's a lot of upside to this, and as the prices come down, I mean, I'm looking at one. Sooner or later, there will be a 3D printer sitting behind me, because it's just getting to the point where there's too much stuff I can't get anymore, and there's just too much stuff that it's just too expensive for what it is. I mean, when I have to buy connectors for my under dash, and the connectors are $30, and they're 2 pieces of plastic, I'm like, I could, already the 3D printer is starting to make sense, because the whole roll of PLA is like, $14, and that's perfectly okay for that type of application to make connectors. I mean, you don't have to search for hard to find connectors. That's another thing. Some connectors are impossible to find. Even on BMW, there's some connectors they stopped making. And yeah, the 3D print that would be kind of nice. Barracuda asking, parts supply getting bad up there? Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah, it's bad. It's real bad, because not only do we have parts that are hard to find, but we have parts that are Chinesium that fail after you put them in. I had 2 coils go bad on me. One of them an Excel coil, but of course it was made in good old China, and it didn't It didn't last very long. So that's kind of what we're running into. And then of course the price of everything is psychotic. I paid $20 for an air filter for a 4-barrel car. $20. They used to be $8. I mean, they were like,
Dirt cheap, dime a dozen.
I don't use anything fancy. I mean, I just use a Wix filter. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's just a Wix filter. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, this is it. The neighbor with a 3D printer is the new neighbor with a truck. Absolutely. I actually have a friend in an Italian club. He printed me the little door surrounds on my E30 because I have blue ones on there, and the blue ones are unobtainium. They literally, you cannot buy blue door surrounds. You could get the black ones all day long, but I don't want black. I wanted blue. And he printed them up, and he said, if it breaks, I'll just print you 2 more. I'm like, okay.
I need that for the door handle thing that we fixed temporarily with a lot of JB Weld, but didn't hold up in the long run. That's okay. But really, you cannot get that center little part where all the foamy goes. It disintegrates, and that's it.
That's a 3D printing part. Seriously, it's strong enough for that.
Oh,
Vintage is asking, do I attend swap meets in Florida? Yes, just not in the summer. It right now is not a time to be going anywhere. It is friggin' boiling outside. I'm no.
In fact, Dennis, Waldo on Mondays, or I think it was on Monday, they used to have, this is years ago, they actually stopped the swap meets from, I believe, like early June until like September. And then it got kicked off again. It was just too miserable.
Yeah. This I've talked a lot about Jack and Rod. The American centric brands are the ones that are really in trouble because we didn't really invest in our own own stuff, and then outsourced it, and then supply chain problems. But like your VW, Latvia, my BMW, Turkey and Italy are the 2 places that I can get a lot of parts from. It's not even a question. Literally, you just go and order it. I mean, Turkey makes everything because they're OEMs, and they basically BMW doesn't seem to have a problem with it. They don't put a part number on there, but it's the same part. It's identical. It literally, you can't tell the difference. So, my water pump I just bought for my E36, made in Italy. Cheaper than any American water pump, too. I mean, think about that. It was cheaper than an American water pump on a BMW. Go figure. Color matching. Color matching is still a little bit of a challenge. They do sell a lot of filaments. So you're going to have to really search through the filaments and try to find the match. But, it's a process. Blending is starting to come in, but that's still kind of coming down the road from what I'm seeing. North America was never good enough to manufacture its own stuff anymore. Yeah, well, yeah, that all changed. That changed. It was terrible. 85 Scirocco, but it's only an 8-valve. Oh, it's not the 16-valve. See, the 16-valve is the hot one.
Still pretty cool car. Absolutely.
I love those. That car's got a handle like anything, man. People are actually 3D printing bushings, like for sway bars and stuff, because they actually can get the plastics that are hard and soft enough to be able to use for those bushings, which is really good. Oh my God, you got a Ford ignition module, Rock Auto stamp, made in USA. Go buy a lottery ticket, because usually anything I see on there, I check to see if it's made in China. God, that is amazing. I seriously, wow. So we'll wait for Flunin to come back. But while we're waiting for Flunin to come back, we're gonna go. I'm gonna start going and I'm gonna start showing some of this stuff. First of all, I'm gonna show you how crazy some of the stuff for old cars is, because I mean it's available, but this is basically the unobtainium part of life. These are left-handed wheel studs. Left-handed wheel studs. They fit, Chrysler Chrysler products for 48 to 63, but actually it's 48 to 71 because Chrysler used left-handed threads up to 1971. And these are there's 5 of them. It's just 5 of them. And they're $80 plus shipping. 5 in them. So that works out to a beautiful $16 a piece. Yeah. So this is where we are with parts. They're new old stock because no one makes anymore. Dorman stopped making left-ended threads. So this is the cost. I'm not gonna berate this guy because honestly they're unobtainium. I know because I looked and looked and looked. They don't exist. So yeah, this is kind of where we are with parts. Yes, an unmolested 16 valve. Yeah, I haven't seen one of those in years. Have you seen a 16 valve Scirocco? I mean,
I haven't seen Scirocco in general in forever.
Yeah.
That's why it was so neat to hear that. Forever, like really.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll probably the last time I probably saw it, no exaggeration, maybe, I'm not exaggerating, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe around Tampa here and there. We'll say 20 to 25 years ago. I know it sounds crazy, but what a cool car. I knew someone in my dorms that had one, and that's even beyond that right there. It was red.
Yeah. Jesus. The sound isn't that bad. You don't need to you don't really need to mute. It's not that bad.
Really? I don't want to.
No, it's actually not terrible. All right. So let's also go on rock. Very funny.
Dennis, it's like a nice revving Stellantis engine. It's just kind of moving. No, they're actually being more productive. Productive. But you know what's funny? I just thought about that Scirocco in the dorms. Think about that car was only probably like less than 10 years old back then. Isn't that neat to think about?
Yes. Yeah, it's craziness. What we got here? Horatius. Always wait. I gotta take a look at Horatius. He's always bringing it. I read an article about a Chinese company last week called Jiangsu Zhengchang Vehicle Industry Company. Okay. Called JJ for short, right? It's producing brand new body shells for classic cars. Yeah, I've heard rumors of this happening. This is craziness. Now, the thing is, this is always the trouble with the Chinese and why doing business with them is never great because they kind of don't care about copyright law. They don't care about intellectual property. They really, really don't. They really don't care.
They got a Range Rover. They have a 5 Series. They have everything.
They literally took
X5, literally.
Yep, they copied them. In fact, they took the 5 Series and they stretched it. They made a long wheelbase one. And it was like, wow. Oh, wait. Jack and Rod's coming to Bug Jam in November. Oh, that's near me. I'll go see you over there. I've wanted to go to Bug Jam because I know people with bugs. And it's the craziest thing. I'll go with my friends.
I'm ignorant. Who's Jack and Rod?
He's a guy that's commenting. I have no idea who he is, but he's going to be at Bug Jam.
Very cool.
If you stockpile parts while you can, do they have a shelf life? Depends. Anything metal, as long as you keep it from rusting, eons. Plastic has to be in a climate controlled environment. It can't be in heat. It can't be in a lot of humidity. Can't be in too dry because it'll go bad. Oil has a shelf life of like 2 years before you can't use it.
Really?
Oil filters,
I've heard. Like, you mean oil itself? Because
everything starts separate. Once it starts separating, it's done. Oil filters, though, they last years. I mean, seriously, years. Air filters, years. Headlights, years. I mean, you can stockpile a lot of parts that are replacement parts. If you need to, you could stockpile them. But I honestly, and they have good shelf lives. But you're gonna have to, like, the stuff that's that is like liquids. That's the stuff that, except like even brake fluid when it's sealed, it probably has the regular stuff. Probably has a few year shelf life before it starts separating. Yeah, it's that's the thing though. Like, you could do a lot of hard parts and actually keep them, but the liquids and all, yeah, that's gonna be a lot more difficult actually.
Think about how many parts we've handled that had cosmoline all over it.
Oh
You just
Jesus.
you just keep it fresh. But I mean, it's
Yeah, I know. It was one of the better things. Actually, it was one of the better ideas. Like Chrysler loved using Cosmoline, loved using it because they didn't have to paint the stuff; they just coated it. And they're like, done. I'm lucky with parts for my Valiants. They're a big deal in this part of the world. There are 2 or 3 suppliers in Australia. Most parts available now. Wow. See, yeah, that's a whole different thing down there, though, where those cars were so unique to that area, and you're kind of saturated with them because they were so unique to the area that you can easily get stuff. But any of these guys buying American muscle and shipping it there, Jesus, I can't even fathom. Like the guy that bought my friend's Challenger, that thing had a Hemi in it. God forbid you had to buy something for that Hemi. I mean, it's going to be like 10 times the price because, I mean, Hemi stuff's expensive here. I couldn't fathom having to ship it across an ocean. I mean, seriously. I mean, Hemi heads are like, I think they're $3,000 a side now. A side. Intake manifolds are like $3,000. Yeah, the Hemis are expensive. The rocker shafts and all the rocker gear. I think those are like $1,500. The rocker shafts and the rockers are $1,500 for a Hemi. I mean, this is just the basic parts for it. I'm not even talking anything special. This is stuff that makes it work. Let's see. He would. Jack and Rod wants that VR6 Corrado. Yeah, I can't even imagine.
I was going to bring up the Corrado in the VR6, but I said, well, we're talking this Scirocco. The Corrados you saw a lot more of. I remember seeing a lot. Yeah. But a VR6, what a great engine. I had a buddy in the dorms who was just obsessed with that back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rubber deteriorates if it isn't in a climate-controlled environment. That will keep it from going bad. Like I have dehumidifiers in my garage because high humidity is also bad for it. So I keep it around 40% in there, and rubber likes that. My rubber's been staying very nice in there. But honestly, too hot, too cold, too humid, too dry, yeah, all that destroys rubber like massively. Let's see. Yeah. So I don't even know what video you're talking about, but okay. Cosmoline. I don't even. I totally lost the plot there. So yeah, so that was our little, looking at lug nuts that are basically painful at this point. And that's why luckily I had some because yeah, we were gonna wait weeks to get these things. So I want to show you. This is Rock Auto. I went on Rock Auto because Rock Auto, if it doesn't have it, you're probably screwed.
Dennis, real quick question. Were those common for most Chrysler products that have the opposite turn on the lug nut?
Every Chrysler product up to 1971 had them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's fun. Actually, no. We know what I'll do first. I'm going to make everybody bleed at this point. Let's remove, add the stage. So this is why I changed out the lugs on the front brake, because to buy the rear drum, I don't know if everybody can see that price. It's $470 plus shipping to get the rear brake drum that would have the correct treads on it, and these are remanufactured. They're not new, and so it'd be about over $500 to get it shipped to us. And then it would take about 2 hours, maybe 3, to change it because it bolts on and you have to use a puller to get it off. Yeah, I have the puller. I just don't want to have to ever deal with this because this is psychotically bad. Oh, and these studs, they don't come out. They don't come out of this drum. You could try, but they ain't coming out. So there you go. There's the fun and games of yeah. This is what we have. So yeah, so that was one thing I wanted to show is like this is such unobtainium. Look, I see Rooney wants to store a better way to store his rubbers. Don't keep them in your wallet. That's a bad place for those. So then, so I went on Rock Auto and I was looking for stuff for my car. Okay, so this is mind numbing. This is all right. This is 72 Charger, right? I want front brake rotors. There's 2 of them available. 3 actually. There's a R1 Concepts, which is some high performance thing, whatever. There's only 1 of those. So I have 2 choices of brake rotors. The rest are not there. Dynamic friction doesn't exist. Prospect they don't have. R1 Concepts basically doesn't have anything except 1 rotor. Centric has 2 remaining. 2 remaining for a 72 Charger. It's also the same as a Satellite, same as a Roadrunner, same as a Coronet 4-door, same as a Satellite 4-door. It's the same front, and same as a Barracuda and Challenger. There's only 1 set of FVP, which are made in China. So some Chinesium for $100 a side. This is what I'm talking about, people. This is what I'm talking about. This is a common car, and this is a common part. This is a replacement part, and literally can't find it. It does not exist. Yeah. So that I mean that was painful. 20-cent motor. I heard Imperial drums are gone. They're at that place I showed. They're rebuilt. You're gonna pay out the ass for it. You're gonna pay $500 for each drum all day long, twice on Sunday. You're gonna pay for that. It's that bad. I mean, wow. Look at this. It's stock 92 Toyota, 1,000 miles, almost 27 with ethanol-free gas. There you go. Yeah, every Mopar has $160 worth of lugs. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see, 67 68 Imperial rotors were NLA 25 years ago. Then someone got someone in China to make them for a lot of money. Yeah. Oh yeah, those oddball ones, the later 60s Imperials. Yeah, those are the oddball cars. Good luck. Those are the last years of the Imperial being its own body, I believe. It was the R body. Not the R body, the Y body. The R body came out. It was Y body. Yeah. Yes, $500 for a drum. Yeah. Yeah. And this is kind of always when I say, this is always what I say about when you're going to look for a car to build. Check the price of the parts before you buy it, because you may actually find it very, very J body. I thought the J body was later. The J body I thought was offshoot of the F body, and that's the 81 Imperial. Because I swear it was like the Y body in the 60s, because it had its own body for like a few years. I could be wrong, but I think it was J body was the 80 to 80 81 to 83. Go ahead.
If I'm correct, that the 68 is that when it started becoming a little bit more Chrysler Imperial again, and 67 was like the last Imperial. I could be way off on that, but
I think so. Let's check.
And that's not a bad statement. It's just that I watch a lot of videos with Adam on his classic car history channel, and he loves especially the fuselage Imperials, and he talks a lot about them. He's got a 72, and I just believe he had said something about how 68 is when it became Is that when it kind of started becoming it's like a Chrysler blend again?
Yeah, they started using Chrysler for that. I think 67, maybe 66 was the last year of it being, because that's when what's his name started. Your Ford guy started designing them.
Elwood Engel.
Edward Engel.
I've learned so much about him and Mopar. I mean, I used to know about Ford. Nope. Now I've migrated to Chrysler.
I actually did a video with him in it, and I just he designed the Charger. He designed all the Chargers, all the first, second, third generation Charger. He designed it. Yeah. Well, yes and no, Jack and Rod. They're expensive, and no, they're not daily drivers, but stuff fails. I mean, that's the sad part. Stuff fails, or you have to go find if you're doing a project, you kind of need some of these parts, and you're gonna absolutely get absolutely just 66 was the last Imperial on the body on frame. Yeah, but yeah. Yep, the 64 redo. Yeah. He did everything, redid everything 64. He made the more modern Chrysler at that point.
Yes.
So, yeah, but yeah, I'm the thing is, like, you may not need to change it, but stuff can fail. Like I can have a rear brake drum like break on me. I mean, that happens. I mean, that literally does happen. You know, I can have a rotor come apart. I've seen it. I've seen rotors where they actually go in pieces. You know, there are things that can happen that, shouldn't, but you end up having to buy the part, and you're going to pay through the nose now. And if you could find the part. So it's pretty bad. It's really bad. So, I gotta, so there's this other one. It's just amazing. This is Rock Auto. I mean, seriously, this is Rock Auto of all places. This one blew my mind. Okay, so I don't know if anybody could see it, but this is for a air conditioning compressor for all classic Chryslers, the RV2. I mean, they used this thing up until the late 70s. The remanufacture. This is on Rock Auto. Out of stock. They do not have any RV2s anymore. So you need to get. I have 4 of them. I have 4 cores. If I know a guy down here, it's the only way I'm gonna be able to get one. I have to get one rebuilt myself. If I need an air conditioner, that's how this is amazing. This used to be a part. It was about $110 by a reman, and now they're completely out of stock on Rock Auto of all places. This is bad. I mean, Rock Auto is like the place that usually has everything and anything, and yeah, and that's why I'm using it, because literally it's like, Rock Auto has a lot of stuff, and then you go and look, and no, they don't got it.
You know how Rock Auto sends you the cool magnet with every purchase?
Yes.
I believe Dan has like 485 on his refrigerator.
Well, with the garbage he buys, he better keep on having that stuff in there.
It's sad. Cut the no comment. We don't nix that. Oh, but he does a whole refrigerator. Is Rock Auto classic cars.
Jesus, that's amazing. I mean, but then again, it's Dan. I mean, it's like,
oh, there's been another purchase we will discuss later.
So then, this is the point home about like the lug studs. So, I went on Rock Auto and just looked for lug nuts for a 61. Right, this is for a 61, which would have both sides. They're all right-handed threads. Every last one of them. There's not one left-handed thread in this entire list. They literally just don't have. They just don't exist. That's why they're $75 for 5 of them. Like, you can't even roll up and buy one. And it's not even that hard to manufacture. It's a freaking bolt. But then here we are. You can convert an RV2 to 134. I don't recommend it. I'll go back to when this one fails, because 134 doesn't get along with it. I'll go back to 12. I could get 12. I can get 12 all day long because nobody's using it. So you can negotiate the price down because no, and I have my license. It's not just I actually have a license to buy it. So that's also great too. But yeah, it's out there, and the 34 just doesn't work as well. And 34 is actually on its way out too, which is not good because there are tens of millions of cars that still use that. And instead, they put the 1, 2, 3, 4 stuff that companies in Europe didn't want to use because it's flammable.
I was going to say that's the flammable one.
Yep. And the funny thing is, R12 is not flammable, which is amazing. R12 is actually very inert, and it's a sad thing that they're not going to manufacture it anymore. This is just painful. I mean, anybody out there like having trouble finding any parts? Because I'm just curious at this part. I know that a friend in New Zealand obviously find lots of parts for his Valiants, but I mean, well, yeah, I did this one for you, Fluno. I know it's not the same year, but this is 67 Lincoln. Right? I mean, they only made like one type of car. And literally there are no brake. There's no brake stuff on here.
That's my year. 67. That's my year.
I remembered. Yeah. There is absolutely no brake stuff on here. Mm-hmm. There's no drums. Mm-hmm. There's no rotor.
No.
There's nothing. There's literally nothing on here.
No. And in fact, we were talking about Imperial. Lincoln was truly, yes, it was Ford, but it was Lincoln until the 1970 model year. 1970, it literally became an LTD / Grand Marquis / Lincoln Continental body on frame, and they figured out, hey, let's just make it this car. Still a nice car, obviously styling differences, whatever, but they figured out, hey, we can just, up the Ford look and make it luxury versus a very specific to the car itself. Mm-hmm. That was it.
Well, that's an Iacocca thing. That literally is an Iacocca thing, because he did that across the line with Ford.
Oh, of course.
He pissed the Deuce off a lot, so that's why he got fired.
The Mark III was a beautifully glorified Thunderbird.
Oh, absolutely, with the same beak and everything.
Yeah, I mean, very similar Rolls-Royce grill. Yeah.
4339 JK. Rock Auto inventory has been depleted. Yes, they are more a clearinghouse for aftermarket, no stuff. Not so much reproduction, and that's drying up. The thing is, your regular corner stores are just as bad, if not worse, because let me pull up my Advanced Auto, and I'm just gonna pull my car up for Advanced Auto. I'm using the main one for Tampa, the main store from Tampa, and it is literally mind-numbing when you look at this and go, how the hell? How is this even like possible? How is this even possible that you literally go for a main car and something so simple, and you're gonna die when I pull this up. Okay. So here we go. Add to stage. Oh, let's remove this. Add to stage. Air cleaners for my car. They have 2 of them. Oh, wait, no, they don't. They're out of stock. The main store in Tampa for Advanced Auto Parts has absolutely no air cleaners for my car. A 4-barrel, which was used 30 years. None. 0.
Hey, Dennis, guess what? Back in Thanksgiving time, and I remember this because I was working at our Wildwood store, I was going to do the oil change of the Z3 with Dan, right? Mm-hmm. And the canister filter, I searched, I had plenty of driving space, like O'Reilly, Advance, AutoZone. The one main, and it's actually like a hub in Bellevue, had 2 in stock. And I searched everything from Wildwood coming back to Ocala, which is like 30 miles. And because that's what I do at work. No, yeah. And so I was like, yeah, that's what Mike does. No, so I'm like, what? Because I figured, oh, there's no O'Reilly on the way home, right? I mean, literally a mile and a half away. No, nope, nope. Thankfully, the one in Bellevue had it, and I grabbed it at night, so we would have it, and I got the combo kit, with the oil and everything.
Yeah.
But amazing.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I've actually, and here's the thing, I've relented to actually, I just buy stuff online now because going to my local shops here, I have all the name brands. All the name brands are here, and none of them actually have Dick. I mean, they literally have less than Dick, and it's actually kind of incredibly painful at this point to actually look at to look on their pages because I see that more often than not. It's really terrible at this point, and trying to think, what the hell did Ford use for a carburetor in? Oh, here it is.
Probably.
No, it was a oh yeah. It's an 1848. So what the I don't let's see, 1849 for the bigger. They're tiny carburetors. So it sounds like a Carter number. It's an 1800. Yeah. So yeah. Good luck finding that carburetor. Oh my god. Because that's the early one. Well, maybe it's a that's an early. The 50s carburetors are hard to get because there was just that was the dawn of the 4 barrels and stuff. Yeah, you're probably gonna have to go aftermarket on that. Probably get like a Edelbrock 600 for that because it really didn't have much more. I don't think that has the 312 in it. They don't breathe real well, from what I remember. So, Jesus, wait a minute, what's this? O'Reilly may have. Oh, it's O'Reilly. I'm looking this up now because I'm really curious. 57 Rochero. It looks like if it needs a 2-barrel, they have it at O'Reilly, and the rest they offer is Hollies because it looks like the originals. You'd have to go to a Ford. I would go to a big Ford show or something. They would definitely have it there because that's where you find stuff.
57 Ranchero.
There's one of the things in here. Oh, here it is. New guy, Michael Lawrenson.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's going to be something looking on Ford Specialized sites if you want to have the actual 57 carburetor, because Ford actually is much more supported, and it's probably not going to be that hard. Plus, there's a lot of salvage yards for Ford, especially the Rancheros. That's a very popular. It's still a very popular car. So, yeah, I mean it's pretty. I don't think it'll be that bad. You just got to really kind of dig a little bit in the weeds. Got to literally dig in the weeds for that one. Yeah. Well, yeah, G Canada, yeah, Holly probably does, and also Edelbrock. I mean, because more than likely they were using what Carter they were using AFBs also, right? By 57, the aluminum 4 barrels. Mike?
Oh, I'm ignorant on those cars.
Yeah, I think they were using aluminum 4 barrels too, so they're not that hard to find. You just have to actually.
That's a cool engine. I mean, is that a white block? I think it's a white block.
That's a white block. Yeah, it has its problems, but
it does. Oh no, it does. But you don't really hear of anybody talking about a 312.
Yeah, because most people don't really, Oh, Cantor Auto has a brand that's 56. It's $450. Here we go. Car parts. That's a Holly. Yeah, I mean you can buy other ones, but the original one, that would be a swap meet thing. Literally, that's a swap meet or one of the websites. Here's one. Is Ranchero USA. There's actually a friggin' website. It's a forum, and and there's some place. There's always ways, especially on a Ford. You can always kind of find stuff like that. Chrysler, not so much. Oh wait, it's actually a Holly. Look at this. They have those are 2 barrels. If it's 2-barrel, it's this one. They're expensive. Carburetors are expensive. Yeah, it's a 312. Oh, wow. God, his father's 91. God bless. Wow. Let's see. So Ford cars. Oh, wait. Look at this, though. They have, yeah, nationalcarburetor.com. They have them, but they ain't cheap, but they have them because carburetors are expensive. Oh, it's a 4-barrel. Ford cars, 8-cylinder. So Ford cars, 8-cylinder, 4 barrels, 1957. Oh, there it is. It's a Holly. That's a Holly 4160. Are you serious? Huh. There it is. It looks like a modern one, but this will work. It's made for the car. Nobody ever sees it.
And some things you got to change, I mean, it's
yeah.
You gotta Havana it a little bit, and
yeah,
make
exactly.
it work.
But
Seriously.
And plus, you buying an old carburetor. I've done this with thermoquads. There's a chance it may not be any good. I've had a couple thermoquads where I cried because I had to throw them. I had to throw them out. They're just junk. Actually, I used one in my last video because it was destroyed by ethanol. Speaking of which, I have a question here about E15. I haven't watched the video. Well, watched the video. You can't remove ethanol. Well, you can, but you can't. All right, I'll tell you why these people removing ethanol. What you're doing, you're actually lowering the octane massively because the gas companies are using ethanol to raise the octane up. So they're probably taking like 89 stock, putting the 10 in, and then you're getting your 93. Somewhere in that range. And if you take the ethanol out, you're going to drop that octane massively, and then you have to do something to add to bring it back up. What I do is I mitigate. In the video, I go over how to mitigate it because you just mitigate it. If you can keep it from absorbing water and reacting with the water, it will stop it from destroying every piece of aluminum in your fuel system and the rubber. It destroys aluminum. It is absolutely brutal what it does to aluminum. And it is absolutely one of the bigger things you just have to use a Stable Marine or Startron. Every tank full, put whatever they say in there and just put it in. Don't even. And that's how you mitigate. You use those products every time, and you make sure that gas tank stays pretty full, or it's stored someplace that's dry. Like my cars are stored in a garage with a dehumidifier. I mean, so it minimizes the issue. But I mean, if it isn't, you're going to have to keep it full and keep that stuff in there. And it will eventually separate. The other thing is that it will break down. It breaks down within 6 months, this gas. It's garbage. It is so bad. And it has a low flash point. I think it flashes at 135 degrees. Literally, it just goes. Poof. So that's why you have more vapor lock problems too. It's wonderful. It's not good. So actually, I should try that experiment and see how low the flash point is. I have some gas in the garage. It's nasty. The other thing about this gas, it's disgusting. I mean, it smells bad. I mean, honestly, when it sits I have a container and I always, pour out my carburetor gas into it. And I usually use that to clean stuff. I open that up. It is the worst smell I've ever smelled. It literally smells rancid. And it was an empty container, and it just smells rancid after it's been sitting. And I treat it. So it's really, really bad. 85 Volkswagen. Yeah, ethanol. Yeah, on my E30, BMWs from the 80s. Oh my God, you can't run ethanol in them. I mean, you just can't. So I've been having a hard time finding. I need 90 above 91 for it because I have chipped it, and I've been mitigating it with the treatments, and it's actually been fine. The only thing is my fuel economy sucks. You lose 20%. And that car used to get over 20 miles to the gallon, even as a E30. Now I can't get over 20. I'm at 19 or 18. You just lose a lot of fuel economy with the ethanol. That's also another reason why it should never be in gasoline. Oh yeah, it's horrible. I actually, in my video, I have a thermoquad that had ethanol sitting in it. The corrosion was ungodly. I mean, I couldn't clean it. I literally tried. I soaked it in carb cleaner. I couldn't get it off. It's all rust. I mean, it won't, and all the passages, everything's clogged. And this was a high performance 440 thermoquad too, and it made me sick. It's just sitting there. Yeah. Let's see. The Bosch Jetronic can't work with ethanol. Actually, none of the older fuel injectors can because they have rubber O-rings. I replaced all the O-rings on mine because they were like rock hard. I mean, seriously, they weren't even O-rings anymore. They were just rings. And it's not a hard job to do but the Jetronic, yeah, that's a whole nother level. And yeah, that does not like ethanol. That has a lot of plastic in it and stuff, and it's also bad. 20-cent motor, non-ethanol, something 650. Nah, it down here at Murphy, the non-ethanol 93. They have 93 non-ethanol. It's 20 cents more than premium, but it's also 20 miles for me to drive there, so it doesn't pay. They make additives bring back bad gas. I will have to look into that because this gas goes bad. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's only been ever since they started putting the ethanol in that I've never knew gas could go rancid, but it goes rancid. Yeah, petrified, exactly. Bargain. Yeah, that's right. Until you put 20 gallons in a car at almost $5 a gallon, doesn't seem like a bargain. Then it's a little nauseating. See, look at that. All the things with New Zealand, we all look at and go, oh my God, they have no ethanol. They actually have real gasoline.
Amazing. Wow.
The hell? I mean, seriously, why are we doing this to ourselves? I don't understand it. But the Marathon Wawa, no, actually they're usually 89, and neither one of my cars can run on that. I mean, my generator does because that's all I buy for my generator is ethanol free because I don't want my generator to get destroyed because small engines will be destroyed by ethanol. A lawnmower, weed whacker, generator, you want to destroy and put ethanol in there. It will absolutely just eat that carb. Let's see. Rooney, $5. That'll be over $7 by me. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll be expensive by you. Yeah. In Europe, it's weird. Europe uses only one of the calculators. So it always reads hotter than it is, but they actually do have higher octane in their gas. But every time I go to Europe, I end up getting a diesel car. So I didn't know. Non-ethanol is good for about 2 years. Yeah, I could say that. The ethanol stuff doesn't last 6 months. It's vile. I mean, I dumped out my carb like 2 weeks ago, and I opened the container, and it smelled bad, and I'm like, wow, and because it was just sitting in the garage in a closed container, and it just turned. Yeah, if corn goes rancid, so well, yes, it will. Yes. Good night, Vintage. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Have farmers just make us food that we'll eat, and you'll get paid money. That's the way capitalism actually works. This nonsense is awful. It's just another thing to get rid of old cars. I mean, because that's all this is, because they start running like garbage, and then the uninformed think there's something wrong with the car when it's just ethanol. It's just the way it is. Well, you don't have the best quality of fuel there. Ugh. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Let's look at this. G Canada, Mr. Maintenance there. Didn't check the oil for 19 years on his lawnmower. Probably could have lasted 60 if he'd actually maintained it.
I'm on the same boat with G Canada. My last mower lasted 15 years for like $100. I bought it in 09, and the guys at the place were like, "You lasted 15 years. You got 10 more years out of it." I would add oil, but I never checked it, and it lasted 15 years for $90. Oops.
Wow. That actually hurts my heart.
Sorry.
That literally hurts my heart. I'm maintenance king here. I literally preach.
But now that mowers are $400 for a basic. I mean, I got mine half off. Oh no, that's a whole new ball game going on here.
I mean, I maintain things that you usually don't maintain, and it's just because I saw from my grandfather who didn't maintain a damn thing until he'd rather repair it than maintain it.
Let me ask you, Dennis.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Like my new mower I got 2 years ago. It's nice. Half off because someone returned it, so I got it half. It was great deal at Lowe's. Don't they make? I mean, they know everything has ethanol in it now for the most part. Don't they engineer the small motor to run on the BS now? Because back in 09, I had to rebuild my Lincoln carburetor for exactly everything we've been talking about because it made the rubber go away, and it was awful, and they rebuilt it with modern stuff, we'll say. But really, they don't actually. The new small engines are not more geared toward our crap in the gas.
Nope.
Really?
Nope. They still will get destroyed because think about it. A lot of them have the primer. That's plastic. That'll disintegrate. They use plastic.
Yeah, I don't have that thing. This one I don't. No,
but
you're right though.
They use plastic filters. Those go bye real quick. What happens though also is that the bowls are aluminum or cheap steel, and you get rust in there. I mean, if you leave any gasoline in that carburetor, it's just going to destroy it. You used to just get shellac on the bottom, which is fine. Yeah. Two Diesel Larry knows this. Commercial mowers start at 15 grand. I check the oil all the time. You're damn right. You're damn right.
Oh yeah, that's different. $90 wasn't. We're talking.
Look at that. Iowa was the last state to put ethanol in gas, so they know it's a scam. I mean, it's Iowa. They grow corn there.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, of course they know.
Jesus Christ. Wow, look at this. 20-cent Motors. YouTuber used a new fuel injector tester on 3 new injectors. Different brands. 2 of them had bad spray patterns. Right out of the box. That's what I love. Replacement parts that are junk. Then he tested several of the best brands, and there was variations in them too. Yeah, that's why if you have OEM, this whatever was in that car, it was made a hell of a lot better than what you're going to buy now. That's why I rebuilt my fuel injectors and went, yeah, I'm just going to rebuild these. Because I know if I try to buy something, it's going to be garbage. I've just had such bad luck with replacement parts. God, Jesus, that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. I wow. But yeah, I mean, so we're at the point now where literally you have you go on these. Like Advanced Auto, I saw a comment earlier. Advanced Auto gone in 27. Yeah, Advanced Auto is not long for this world. I don't think that they fixed their problems. We'll probably have financials coming out July, and I mean they were bleeding cash before First Brands pulled half their supply. If you go on their site, they actually have pages and pages of closeout from Fram and all the brands of the First Brands. Pages. And there's nothing to replace it. Like, you notice there was no Fram air filter for my charger because they don't have them anymore. You walk in there, it's pretty, they kind of shuffle stuff around to make it look a little more full. Advanced Auto is not long for this world. I mean, they are. Yeah. What?
That's called fronting. They front the
Exactly.
product to pick it up.
Bring it up. Bring it a little bit. Yeah, kind of put it together. Yeah, bring it up. Bring it up. Oh, spread it out. Spread it out. Make it look like more. Spread it out. Bring it up. Yeah, I mean, that's what mine's doing. And I have a pretty big store near me, and they just literally like replacement parts. Yeah, they're not good. They're not good at all. And and the online's killing them because am I going to wait 2 days for them to get me a part, or am I just going to order it and have it delivered to my house so I don't have to leave it? Well, I'm just going to order and have it delivered to my house. And I do that every time. I ordered a Wix filter for my BMW. I wasn't going anywhere. Came to my house.
Oh, believe me, had I planned ahead a little better, not that I knew Dan and I would do the oil change over Thanksgiving weekend, yes, that exactly would have really happened instead of me, dear internet, looking around. But you're right. If I would have actually knew we were doing it that weekend, absolutely it would be sent right to my door.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I've been trained to, because I've had so many problems with my auto parts suppliers in this area that it's at the point where it's not worth it to go to them. And I don't call them. That's the worst thing in the world is try to call those people. I don't. I look up online. If it's not, the information's not there, I'm not going to try to figure it out. And it's actually, it's gotten to that point now where these stores, but Advance is probably the one that's in most trouble because they had everything with First Brands. Yeah. Look at this. Exactly. $30 per wiper at Advance. Yeah. $6 at Bezos. Yeah.
Funny he brings that up because when I first moved back here, I needed wipers. This and that. I think I got 2 for like 28. We'll just say that, but it is what it is. It's for the Elantra. But you're right. I mean, why am I going to do that?
No.
For a quality wiper, 2 days later or next day, there it is, and you're set.
I needed a tap and dies for that left-handed thread studs, and then the lug nut, and literally I just went on Bezos Express. Next day I had a tap and die. I instead of me trying to go to one of these places and ask for a left-handed thread tap and die and have the guy stare at me like I'm insane.
Yeah. The revolving staff.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you go to a Lowe's, an Ace.
Nope.
Or it
nope.
doesn't matter. And
doesn't
nobody
matter.
knows. Nobody knows. It's like,
no. They look at you, and I'm not being funny when I say this, but like, and I'm not being at all disrespectful, but it's like you talk to even a car guy who's like 23, you bring up like a 90 something, like a Z3, and it's like, oh wow, it's like talking about a 38, Oldsmobile. So.
But and this is kind of where we are with this now, and I just wanted to kind of point out tonight. I know it wasn't a giant segment, but I mean honestly, it is really getting bad with parts, and that's just a lot on the classics. But even your cars that are going to be in your most trouble right now are your 90s cars and your early 2000s cars, because the support from the OEM is gone, the factory support's gone. And the aftermarket stuff, it can be pretty thin in areas. I know Oldsmobile, if you have an Oldsmobile from the 90s or early 2000s, you are screwed because parts are just not there. And without Cardone, you may not be able to keep that car. I mean, seriously, you may not be able to keep it because General Motors doesn't have anything for that. And now with the loss of Cardone, yeah, there's less manufacturing. Like, so if say you need a brake booster, I don't know where the hell you'd find one for like a 2000 Aurora. Where would you find a brake booster for that car? I have no idea, and I don't even know if you can even do that.
Funny you bring up Oldsmobile. I was coming back from the bank today and going to my store. There is we'll say pre-04, obviously, Alero in the driveway.
Oh my God.
And again, talking about seeing like a Chiron. No, that's the first Alero I've seen in years. I've seen more Auroras now and then, because they're
Jesus.
quasi collectible. But here's a sad thing too, Dennis. And again, this is not a means basket, but the first time in history, car history, maybe, most folks never were driving, and it says a lot about the quality of cars, how they've gotten better, in my opinion. But you never had, my folks always drove an older car here and there, but an older car back then was like 10 years old. I mean, that was like
Boy,
ancient.
it was antique at that point.
Antique. I didn't know it had a 10-year-old. What's wrong with you? Are you going bankrupt? I mean, I'm not being, it was a Plymouth or a Cadillac. You had a new car like every few years. It always seemed that way, or a pre-owned, whatever.
Yeah.
And now it's like, right, you're looking for a part for a 2000 Pontiac, let's say.
Oh, God.
No, I mean, as an example.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
oh, God.
Yeah, but right, but like Dan's mom had a Bonneville for a year. The engine is 3800, great. Everything else was breaking. That's just not, and that's the sad part too, is that it's not being a nasty statement, but we talk about a 2000 car like it feels like it was yesterday, but that's a quarter of a century ago.
Yes, it is.
And so it's a pro and a con where that's awesome. It's still running solid, this and that, and the reliability, hundreds of thousands of miles maybe. But in reality, that's what's happened, is that folks cannot afford newer cars. And that's disrupted a whole different now conversation of what the heck?
Yeah. Well, I actually, in curiosity, I went and I pulled up that power brake booster for a 2001 Aurora. Right.
Okay.
You have a lot of not choices here. The new one, there's only one, is SKP. I don't know what an SKP is. That's $109 for a new one. Rebuilt, quality built. Okay. $147. Cardone, what's left of the Cardone stock, $176 because you have a $48 core. The brand new one's $110, but God knows where it comes from.
Right, that's the thing.
But this is what you got. This one remanufactured out of stock. These are probably low, but they don't say on here. And these, I have no idea what they are. I've never heard of quality built. But yeah, this is only it's like a 24-year-old car. But then a lot of people drive these cars.
That's right.
Good luck. Good luck.
Right. And that's the real sad part, is that it's not like our good friends and stuff where we can pick up a $1,000 20, have fun, tinker with it, have a whole fleet, of other vehicles that you're working on. Some folks, this is their only mode of transportation.
Correct.
And to buy something plus labor, I mean, you're talking a week's pay for this when you're all said and done.
So
that's a shame.
20 Cent Motor also brings up another point, and this is literally part of the problem, and no politician can solve this because they caused it with cash for clunkers. The trickle-down used car market.
Absolutely.
It does not exist. It does not exist anymore. It's gone.
No.
There is literally no more trickle-down like we used to have, where, especially with my Charger, when we got our Charger in the mid-'80s. It was at that point a 13-year-old car, so it was for that time it was done. But what you had is that person that, like, I know the original owner traded my name, but say that thing had changed hands. Well, the original owner got it. He went out and he bought like a 74, and then the next guy he bought that car in 74, and then he went out and he bought a 70. A 74 to trade it into 72. And then in 77, he went and he traded and he got like a 75. And then in 1979, he got like a 77, but it was, and then somebody else then bought that other car. And you literally had to get to the point where the car was $100, because I remember vividly cars you buy it for $1.50. You literally buy a running car for $1.50 because it's something nobody wanted.
No. Well, here's one. In 93, my dad bought, and it was actually a decent car. I actually had a 305 4-barrel in it. My dad bought from a good mechanic friend of ours, an 84 Bonneville with the ridiculously fixed back windows, beautiful blue metallic. Had like 40,000 miles. A 9-year-old car with 40,000 miles on it. Bought it in '93. Bought it for $1,000. And even with
Yeah.
So say for inflation, we'll double it, $2,000. Find a 40,000 mile car that's 9 years old now. That's been looked over by a close mechanic friend to say, John, you're good to go for $2,000.
Not happening.
You don't. No, that's a 150,000 mile car, and it's beat up, and that's a problem. Maybe
So here's the other part, and this jackass keeps opening his mouth, not Jack and Rod, the Ford CEO, where he's kind of putting his foot in his mouth about the friggin' right to repair, and that's the other big problem. That's a big problem. That's a big problem. Yes, 4339 JK. What does happen to the core when you send it back to Cordone? They're not working. I don't know where it goes. It just goes in a pile. I don't know. They want a core for some reason. I don't know why. They're not working. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Look at this though. Barracuda is everyday cars an 04 Holden Commodore. Wow, which is the Buick V6 rear-wheel drive, which they're coming back out with next year. They're coming out with the V6 next year, 2028, whatever. Yeah, parts supply. Yeah, you guys have good supply stuff down there. You're very lucky. You are very, very lucky. Oh yeah, look at this. I used to take pics of popular car for sale magazines in the 90s at the dealer auction. Those were the days. Yeah. Oh man, they used to be so many cars available. Oh, cool. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, good. I hope he does. I want him to drive that car. I want a smile on his face, Michael. Michelle. It's Michelle. I can't read. I'm a little on the retarded side. But cool. Yeah, I go out and get that. Get it running. Just throw the car on there and let it go. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I think it's not a good idea that Ford is buying up parts of First Brands. No, they just facilitated being bought by somebody else so they can keep getting their originals because they're kind of up the creek at this point. They already had enough problems with the aluminum plant because of a small war action because that screwed up the aluminum supply. And yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. What?
No. We're sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we apologize again.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's 2 for 2. Yeah.
Wow. Now here I'll even show Michelle. This is what nationalcarburetor.com says would be the good carburetor for that 57 Ranchero. Let me throw it up there. It's this Hollywood 4160 because this is probably a kind of close to what was originally on there. So there it is. Brand new, $450, 2 to 6 days. There's a core charge, but if you don't have a carburetor, I don't know what you're going to do. This is $900. So, but you can buy a modern. They make a modern version of this, so you don't have to do that. You can go on to Summit and just buy a 4160, and because they make a modern version of this and just put it on the car. That's what I would do. I didn't see the core charge down there. That's insane. And it doesn't actually, the modern one doesn't look much different about this. Nobody will know the difference. They're almost all the same. So I would just go ahead and do that. Summit Racing. It's really easy. It's very, very easy to find, and they have a good website, and they sell a lot of stuff, and they have free shipping. So, yeah, hopefully that helps. Hopefully. Yeah, and one more thing I had somebody write me the other day, and this kind of made me. I wrote back to him because I'm nice like that. I actually will write back to somebody because I'm not a total dick. And he took the time to write to me, so I'm gonna write back. So he's wanted to look for a 71 to 74 Charger. And he gave me his budget of $15,000 to $20,000 for a running car. And I literally went and I basically told him that's going to be a very big ask, especially you want something that actually isn't boogered. and I gave him some pointers on what to look for on these cars because there's certain areas on these cars that will disintegrate on you, and you won't even know. The cowl is the worst. You can't see it, but they rot away because the water sits in there and they just go bye-bye. And Chrysler didn't put any rust protection on it at all. There's none. There literally was none from the factory. So and Rock Auto rebuilt Ranchero Carb 393. Oh, beautiful. But I mean, he wants something that actually is an honest car with documentation for 15 to 20, a Charger, a 71 to 74. And the thing is, I also explained that like the 73, 74, now you're adding more challenge because they have a different suspension. And I've talked to people that have those cars. They're having a hard time getting the front isolators on the suspension. That's also going to be a part that needs to be 3D printed. Yeah. So, FMJ Chryslers have double walled cowl. Oh yeah. Oh god, they were terrible. That's why you don't see any of them anymore. They probably disintegrated. But yeah, so I went and I kind of explained to him like what he needs to be looking for on these cars before he makes a commitment. And at 15 to 20 grand, he's really gonna have to look hard. The big thing, he probably needs to go to like Carlisle and hope that somebody he needs to go to a big Mopar show and hope that somebody is selling a decent car. And because a lot of stuff I'm seeing on the internet now is basically flipper cars, and they're very easy to pick out. A flipper car is so easy to pick out. We tore one apart last week. They're very easy to pick out. They're usually painted the wrong color. That's why if a car's not painted the original color, I don't want anything to do with it. I really don't. I don't give a shit what it is. I don't care. I don't care.
Nope.
Because it truly is it's not something I want to deal with. And and that's kind of a big it's kind of one of those big things where you just it's just, especially now, it's really not a great time to look for a car. It really is, and it's really, especially a third generation Charger, because now they're starting to get expensive. I went looking, and most good running cars are over 30 grand now. Seriously, that's the demarcation lines, 30 grand. And that's 71, 72, 73, 74, you're probably in the 20s, but you're still in the 20s. And it's just there's not a lot of the other stuff available, and there's nothing after it available. Because the mid 70s Chrysler products, there's no support for them. There's no parts for them. There's nothing. So that whole thing is done, and then there's nothing in the 80s. So those are the last ones. So the price of them went way up. Here we go. Barracuda. In my opinion, 6-cylinder Holdens weren't very good until they started putting the Buick 6 in them in '89. The V8 Holdens were good. Well, yeah, because they had it was an LS, I believe. The first LSs were in those Holdens. Those are animals, because they brought over the G8, which was a Holden, and that was the most impressive sedan I've ever seen in my entire life.
Like the Chevy SS, same car, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it came with Brembo 6-pot up front, 4-pot in the rear. I mean, this thing was just an absolute animal. I mean, that thing could smoke the tires for days. And it was nimble for a sedan. It was extremely nimble. Very impressive car. I literally am very impressed with that Holden division. Really knew what they were doing. And it was kind of weird that they were doing all this great stuff while General Motors North America was not doing such great stuff. Kind of always the way it would be. But yeah, I mean, so that was kind of a weird, it was kind of a weird email. And it's like, I wish I had better things to say, but it's like literally right now, this is really a tough time to buy something decent that you could use. I mean, that's kind of the thing, to use it, and have like documentation, also a problem. It's going to be tough now. And that's kind of the problem. And so, yeah, I don't know. But and the thing is that the 80s stuff is getting expensive now too. Like those Mustangs from the 80s, Jesus, they're coming to 20.
Which is insane in many ways. And I know they're popular and stuff, but yeah.
You know, but I mean, they still have a lot of parts available for them. So there's that. You know, also the Camaros from that time period, the Firebirds, Trans Am.
Heck, our good friend bought that 86 F-150, like great shape. I think he paid like $10,500 for it.
Yeah.
Which is actually a steal when you think about trucks now. And I got a good friend here. He's got a 77 Bullnose F-150, or F-250, pardon me. He's slowly getting it back of his dad's truck that he bought in 1998. It was a 21-year-old car. I'm sorry, 98. Yeah, it was a 21-year-old truck. His dad bought it for $2,000.
Wow.
I know.
You can't even touch that truck now.
No.
A mid-70s F-250, you can't touch that truck.
No.
It's expensive. No, but I mean, so we're in this really weird time, and that's when I did the whole video on the Mecum auctions. The market is so messed up because trying to fix something is astronomical at this point, and if you could find the parts, but trying to do a finished one, you're you know, like you either need to go all the way and spend the money and go all the way, but because if you get in the middle, I don't think you could actually get the car right. Like if you have a car that needs body work, but it's drivable and all, and you got it for 20, you may spend $40,000 to finish that car. I mean, I wish I was joking, but you may spend 40. Actually, I saw a post on Facebook, and this is the danger. This is what absolutely freaks me out. A perfect looking GTX, right? Perfect. Got hit in the corner panel, got brought to the body shop. Body shop starts taking the corner panel off. Whoever did the restoration cut a lot of corners. There was rust everywhere inside this car. You would never know looking at it. It was all hidden. They used Bondo everywhere. They did a lot of real dodgy welding. Basically, one little damaged corner panel turned into the whole back of the car having to be removed. The whole back of the car. I'm talking the Dutchman panel, both inner and outer corner panels, the trunk, everything. All that had to come out of the car because it was that rotted. Literally pieces of metal, they were like this, snapping it because there was just nothing left of the structure. So yeah, Barracuda. I don't think the 3.8. I'm not sure which engine they're going to use for a 6. They are building a V8 sedan, but they're going to have to put a 6 in it too. They can't just have an 8. So maybe it'll be what Cadillac is using because that engine seems to be still around. I don't think they're getting rid of it.
The 3.6?
Yeah, I think it's a 3.6. It's a pretty good engine, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not terrible. It's not. I mean, it's not the 3.8, which is indestructible.
No, but I think it's got an internal water pump. I think there's been some. There have been some issues on that engine.
Yeah,
supposedly.
The internal water pumps are probably the
worst. Ford did that for a while with 3.5
on their 3.8s. Yeah, they screwed a lot of people with that car.
Yeah, and the 3.5 Edge. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it just fills up the pan with water.
Brilliant idea. It's only been fine for 80 years here, but let's put it inside.
Let's just put it inside. Yeah. So yeah, there haven't been a lot of details, but Buick is coming out with a rear-wheel drive car, and they just need to.
And you know why that really is pushing that? I'll tell you exactly why. And these people also like big back seat room, the Chinese market.
Yep.
They won't want to say that, but that's actually, they love Buicks. They love big sedans. They love backseat space.
Yep. Yeah. The only thing is right now, a lot of the companies are showing weakness because the China market is dying. They're hitting a wall. Oh yeah. So the new V8 is going to be coming from St. Catharines, Ontario. Yep. They love China, but you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and the Chinese economy is not that great right now. U.S. built. It's a U.S. built car. They're not. This is not going to be imported from China. It's
No,
going to
not
be
imported, but they eventually will probably do something to get it to China, just like other Buicks are big
yeah.
sellers over there. Just like the Lincoln Corsair, which got canceled here, they
Still
still love
sells
it.
big.
So
Yep.
it's manufactured over there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the Buick, the new Buick, I know that there's going to be a couple engines with it, but there's not a lot of details because they're keeping it really under wraps, which is pretty impressive. It's really, really impressive. So, I mean, it's kind of maybe they'll do, but they might, I don't think they'll do it a 4. To go from a 4 to an 8, I don't know if they'll do that. That would be silly. Yeah, China is pushing hard on EVs because China is they don't care. I mean, they don't care. They don't care if the product kills the consumer. They don't care if it doesn't go anywhere. They just don't care. I mean, they just don't. You know. Oh, he didn't know. I had to look up internal water pump. Another new innovation I was aware of. Oh yeah. Here's another great innovation from Ford: the wet timing belt. The wet timing belt may be the worst thing I've ever heard of, ever seen, because basically your timing belt is sitting in engine oil, and that's in the 3-cylinder, and they last 50,000 miles, and then they're done. They're literally done. You just break it. It just breaks. It's just beautiful, I think. China doesn't have any oil, but they have minerals to make batteries. The problem is they burn coal to fill the batteries. They don't care. There's no problem with that. They have plenty of coal. They don't give a crap. And here's the funny thing: China doesn't use solar panels. They sell their cheap solar panels to us because we're idiots. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of a thing. They just kind of, oh, yeah, rubber and oil. Yeah, it doesn't work. It's supposed to be Kevlar reinforced. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. A great channel is I Do Cars. He's done 3 of them. And this is an engine that there is no lifespan on this engine. It is literally 50,000 miles. It is probably the worst engine I've ever seen. It actually makes the Pentastar 6 seem like a freaking great engine. I mean, it's that bad. It may be the worst thing ever designed.
Was that 1.3 that they put like in the EcoSport? Oh, it wasn't even built in America. That's an Indian car, actually. I remember I saw one on the road today, ironically.
And it shows it was an Indian car. I've seen the videos of them fixing stuff. Oh, look, this thing is going very, very smoothly. Yeah, well, until it blows up at 50,000 miles. I guess if you don't drive that far, it's okay. And there's no way to stop it. There's no way. The preventative thing is actually so expensive. It would be to change the belt. But to change the belt, you got to take the entire front of the engine apart because it's inside the engine. And that's just so much work, and it's a front-wheel drive car. So I don't know how you go fix a front-wheel drive car and pull everything apart and then change the belt, which is buried inside the engine. Good stuff. Great stuff. Yeah. So yeah, the new Buick, not a lot of details on it yet, but it's going to be coming out next year, and that we know. And when it comes out, that will be the end of the Dodge Charger, because there will be a sedan that will be cheaper and more normal looking, and it will be perceived as having higher quality because it's a Buick, which actually Buicks do have high quality, which blows my mind, but they have really high quality. They do. They're actually very well built cars because of the market they're going for. They're old. Actually, they're getting younger people to buy Buicks, and this will actually do that too. So there we are. Ford just started making cars or something. No, Ford always has a better idea. That's always the thing. Ford always has a better idea. Trust me, I've seen enough of their better ideas to understand they always have a better idea. This is the company that came out with the variable Venturi carburetor because it was a great idea. Yeah, great thinking out there. Yeah, the light bulb people. Yeah, Ford always with their better idea. They're the ones that they went hard with the automatic seatbelts. The ones that choked you. Oh man, yeah. So I'm not surprised that they just do stupid things because it seems like it'll be more efficient, and then it doesn't work, and it's like, oh yeah, that was stupid. So let's see. Holden switched to the 3.6 Alloy Tech V6 in 2006. From what I heard, it's troublesome. Yeah. I think that's the one that has the internal pump. Internal water pumps are a bad idea. I just don't understand how you go look at that. And go, yeah, let's put that inside so when it starts leaking, it'll just take the engine out.
Oh, that's what they think. That's exactly what they think and say, hey, that's what we get to do is fix it. Someone saved money on the front end, and we're going to make money now on the back end,
Here's the
for our
thing.
customer.
This is the thing, though, is biting them in the ass because they were getting fixed on a warranty. So they were just basically.
But if it got over, I don't know what the GM powertrain warranty is, but
well, they're all like five years now. They're all 5 years.
But if you have a 10-year-old car with this, again, that's where these poor people, the people we talked about earlier,
you're buying an engine.
Yeah.
You're buying an engine. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See? G Canada avoided all the automatic seatbelts. I don't know how the hell you avoided them. Christ. They for a long time they were prevalent. Was it late 80s? Early 90s?
The rule was either you put the automated passive restraint in your car or you had to have airbags. And for a while, they were going that route to not put the airbags in. You had one or the other. And then by, I think, might have been like 93, 94 at the latest, it was kind of like, yeah, we're going to, because all you got to do is unbuckle it.
Yeah, I know. It was horrible. It was one of the worst things. It gets choked when you get in the car.
And you had to still put the lap belt. You had to put the lap belt on you. I mean,
because the shoulder belt's useless without the lap belt because you
exactly.
You decapitate yourself.
Exactly. You're going to fly up, back, you do a somersault, backward somersault.
Don't even get me started on friggin' airbags. The most overblown safety feature ever put in a car. And that was kind of a pun in it. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah,
but it really is an overblown thing. It doesn't save anybody. It really doesn't. I mean, it hurts people. It hurts a lot of people because of the force it comes out with. And how do you know in a 20-year-old car if that airbag's any good?
How about a 30-year-old?
I have a 30-year-old car with one in it.
Yeah. I know it's scary.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's any good.
Will it pop? I don't know.
Will it just go off on its own? I hope not.
But by this point, it's like crumpled, hardened brick plastic that's in there.
Yeah.
God only knows how crusty that is.
Yeah, I mean, because it may be a solid piece of plastic by now because heat cycles. Yeah, but yeah, so airbags are just, I mean, it was literally one of the stupidest things that have ever been brought up by the auto manufacturers or the government or whoever the hell decided this was a great idea. No.
Well, here's what's funny. So, like in all 67 Fords, you got a deep dish center absorbing steering wheel hub, which I'm sure in 67 it was like a very plush thing that would collapse if you hit it, whatever. I assure you, it is now solid, and the internal Ford guys called it the boob, okay, and everybody else, it's the flower pot, okay. No, I assure you, it is now solid foam, maybe cancerous, who knows? But
exactly,
again,
And look, and look who did that. It was Iacocca, and he made the airbag standard. Yes, he did.
Really?
Yeah, the Sebring would have the seatbelt locked up tight. Yeah, those Sebrings were awful. Oh my God, those were terrible cars. Yeah. So I mean, oh my God, just the thought of a lot of this stuff is just yeah. 20-cent motor. Did anyone see the face of Joan Claybork when she was told that her airbags now exploding shrapnel into people's heads? She was shock ridden. Oh, yeah, that was the designer of that horrible what was it? It's a Japanese name. The ongoing recall that's decades now.
Oh yeah, my Mustang had that. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah, that was the Nakota, something like that.
It's one of
The
those.
Nakata airbags.
Yeah, and it's an ongoing recall that's still going on. Oh, she ran the National Highway Safety. Takata airbags.
Takata.
She ran.
And there's no actual fix.
But the thing is, like, there's another thing that should not exist. National Highway Safety is just useless because I've yet to see them actually do anything for safety. They put recalls out there. Okay, great. Do we really need a giant bureaucracy for this? I'm like, okay. Thing under Clinton, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's how long ago that thing started. I mean, literally, the X5 had an airbag in it. 2006. I remember that. And it was like, and all the X5s from the first one in 99, all of them had to have Takata airbags, and they all had to be replaced. Yeah. But, the government was out to keep us safe. Yes, and G Canada brought up that best safety features anti-lock brakes. Absolutely, because last night my daughter was driving me home from dinner because I drank 3/4 of a bottle of wine, and she wanted to drive. I mean, she's driving her car, and it had poured by our house, and she came coming up to a corner, and I'm sitting there going, you better lay on the brakes. So she laid on the brakes, and anti-lock, thank God. And then she was able to get set, made the corner right. I said, if you had been in anything like an older car, like the Charger setup with the rear drums, and hell, we would have spun through the intersection. Literally, we would have just spun. But the anti-lock, absolutely, more than anything else, anti-lock brakes. Yeah. I mean, it's just absolutely one of the greatest safety features ever. So, I can see and this is why guys with old cars think that doing rear disc brakes makes them stop better, because modern cars have rear disc brakes, but they only have that to make the anti-lock work easier. It's hard to make anti-lock work with drums. We had a Ranger that had anti-lock drums, and it just didn't work right. It's just hard. It's hard to make that thing pulse correctly. Yep. First car with four-wheel ABS, a 71 Imperial. Yep. And it was like a train. It was like a train's anti-lock brakes, where it just basically had a pressure relief on there. So when it got to a certain pressure, it just relieved it. Yeah. If you wear a seatbelt, why is an airbag needed? Don't know. I really don't know. But if you don't have an seatbelt on and an airbag goes off, you get really hurt. You don't want to not have a seatbelt and have an airbag hit you, because you can get super hurt then, because you're flying at it faster. I can't hear you. Fluo.
You're gonna hit the dashboard regardless if there's an airbag or not with no seatbelt. I mean, but no seatbelt.
The seatbelt is going to be coming at you at 100 miles an hour. You're going at it at 100 miles an hour.
Well, but I mean, we both know, Dennis, it's not the inflation; it's the deflation that actually is engineered into the safety that happens. It's not a big cushion that stays like that.
It's enough.
I have a differing opinion on all this topic, to be honest. I think it's actually
fine.
No, but side curtains, the knee airbags, I think, for cushioning for the dashboard, I think those are actually very well-intended safety
Yes,
devices. I don't
but
like the big A pillars. You can't see shit
I
from
hate
it.
that. That's
Okay?
dangerous.
That's why you have to have all these cameras now in a car. You've lost all the greenhouse.
Yep.
So there's like I said, there's a mixed bag, no pun intended, on many things. But the seatbelt and the anti-lock brakes is your most important safety feature to keep you
Absolutely.
in the car safe. Bottom line.
Absolutely. Yeah, the thing is that when riding in that 61 Chrysler, you have no idea how far we've come, and it's like literally we're trying to get incremental improvement. I mean, that car is dangerous. Everything about the car is dangerous. And it's like, honestly, a mid-90s car is about as safe as you're going to get. You really can't get any further improvement on it. And doing all this other stuff on there, it's just like, I mean,
it's over.
I don't know. It's overkill.
Yeah, it is. No pun intended. Well, honestly, Dennis, not that I've driven it recently. When I drive the Lincoln around, I drove that every day with my everyday car for 6 years. Never thought, no big deal, right? Mm-hmm. Now, and it's not so much me, it's everybody else around me. I literally flop in there and think, no, this is literally. And I actually wrecked a long time ago in that car, and I was fine. I crippled the minivan, but I still kind of shimmied across the seat,
Yes.
But we have come a long way from three things: crumple zones, the seatbelt, and anti-lock brakes. Those are your main safety components, in my opinion.
Yes. No, absolutely. 1,000%. Yeah, but once again, though, it's like, well, the other thing they did, and it was smart in the early 70s, they made it so the hoods crumple instead of coming straight through the windshield. So that was pretty nice. That was nice of them to do that. Yeah, and also collapsible steering column, so you don't get skewered by your steering column. Because that is a really, or you could have like BMW and just have it offset away from your heart.
Or look at like a 55 Hudson, and you're like, why? Why is there a Full Metal Jacket style bullet facing my chest in the beautifully designed chrome hub? Really?
Yes. Yeah, that's you go out in style. Yeah, safety glass.
That's a good one.
Radial. Yeah. Radial tires. If you're not over 50 years old, you have no idea how bad bias ply tires are. Bias ply tires, they ride nice. They are garbage in the rain. Garbage. I mean, they literally, you might as well just be on ice. They don't have anything resembling traction. And they also don't handle speed as well. They're very, very soft, so they just don't handle well. They're kind of, that's why when you look at the old road test, the cars didn't have great slalom and cornering. It's because those tires were giving. It wasn't the suspension; the tires gave up. I mean, they would just roll. The sidewalls would roll underneath the tire. Yeah, they were giant balloons. So, yeah,
good stuff.
But yeah, great stuff. Oh, so so this was fun, exciting, and everybody out there, I have my fuel, my whole thing on fuel for summer because, and I go over in autistic detail, ethanol and how bad it is for an old car, to the point of it's kind of disturbing. It's a 16-minute video. But this is kind of a big thing. I mean, because this is one of those things that's just, it has to be done. So I have that out there. I'm gonna have a couple shorts coming out. Loved it. Oh, cool. Thank you so much, Jack and Rod. Ciao. But yeah, so that then I'm gonna keep on doing stuff to maybe next week I'll have some more stuff on just being able to keep your car. I know that the Chrysler 300 thing I'll have out soon. I can't wait. I have like 6 hours of video on that car because I might just do an introduction on and then all the work because the cross ram stuff is just fascinating. Oh, cool. I'll go watch your vids. Thanks. Thank you very much. Go watch them 5 times. In fact, tell your friends and go watch them 5 times, please. Thank you. So what's up with you, Fluno? I know I'm going to see you Friday, so
Yeah, we'll continue. Well, just work, normal week. Nothing really too exciting. Contemplating again. I talked earlier about Amazon Prime days, and if the price of that top comes down a little bit, we'll talk about new top for the Z3, whether it be in crimson red or black. But we're gonna get the nice canvas style, and then he gets some new tires for the Lincoln. I got to make decisions on that. I've rearranged some financial stuff, and I know it's hot as hell, but hey, when you're in the mood to do it, you got to do it when you're in the mood, right?
Yes.
So it is what it is.
Yes, and then the like and subscribe, and of course hit the hype. I always hit hype on people I watch because I like hyping. So yeah. All right. Well, this was fun as always. We have a live and fascinating conversation.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everyone, and hopefully you've seen this in a replay. Cool. Because if you have a fun car or an interesting car or just anything that's kind of nice, take it out because you'll make someone's day and it will be your own. And we'll all catch you very, very, very soon. Rooney, I'll go and I will hype all of them after this. I forgot that you had a channel. I will hype everything. I'll do that now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. I'm a horrible human. Wait. A New Zealand man living in California was killed recently when he crashed his 56 Nomad. That pointy bit. Yep. Ooh. The pointy bit from the steering wheel got him. Ouch.
Shocking.
Yeah, no. Shocking. All right. Well, on that bombshell, we'll call it a night. All right, everybody have fun. Stay safe, please. If you liked what you saw, like, subscribe. If you didn't, thank you for watching to this point. And as always, if you have a cool car or something fun to drive, take it out. You'll make someone's day, probably your own.